welcome to a live Shaw Sports presentation.
Playdowns presented by Best Western. Hello everyone, my name is Arturo, joined by Melissa Saligo and Corey Chester. Corey, today's match, Team Gushulak, Team Wark. Team Gushulak played an extra match after the round robin, a tiebreaker against the Van Osh rink, which they won 8-7. What have we learned about Team Gushulak's playstyle?
Well, it means they're coming off of a little bit of momentum after winning that tiebreaker over Team Van Osh. Lots of experience on this rink, as 3 of 4 members have been to previous national Scotties before, so they should be feeling confident and ready to go for today's 3-4 game.
Now, Melissa, as for Sarah Wark and her team, the second worst shooting percentage in the entire round robin, but they finished in 3rd place. How does that happen?
Well, it's all about making the right shots at the right time. They've been struggling a little bit on and off, but came up with some big wins to be here in this game tonight. And all they need to do is put it together, use the confidence and the experience behind them, and they'll come out on top.
Of course, the winner of this game will face off against Team Huduzma, which we saw in our first game in the next semifinal of the Page Playoffs. So get ready, let's introduce the teams.
Now to introduce the teams. First team, Gushulak, lead, Sandra Kamadina. Second, Jesse Sampson. Third, Dennis. Diane Gushulak. Fifth, Patrick Sampson, and Corey Houston. And now the Wark team. Lead, Michelle Dunn. Second, Stephanie Prince. Third, Kristen Bullock. Skipper Wark. Good curtain, ladies, and congratulations on making it this far.
And with that, we are preparing for the first end between Gushulak and Wark. 3-4 playoff here in the Page Playoffs, the 2017 Women's Provincial Curling Championships, presented by Best Western here on Shaw TV. So as the teams get set up, looking at the individual percentages for each of the positions, Team Gushulak, Sandra Comadina, playing his lead. He's shot a 79%, putting her third amongst all leads in the tournament. Well ahead of or by 7 points ahead of Michelle Dunn, ranked 72 for Team Wark. Across the board, as we mentioned in the opening, generally speaking, Team Wark's percentages not amongst the highest in the tournament, and yet here they are, taking on Team Gushulak with a spot in the semis on the line. It's interesting to see who comes out firing on all cylinders to start this match. Spot in the semis, not a bad place to be. So with the hammer to start, or with the hammer today, it looks like Team Wark has the hammer by virtue of their better record. Gushulak throwing the blue rocks, will be throwing first. Handshakes and high fives. All sporting across the board here. Excellent. And with that, the skips will head down the ice and we will get ready for the first end.
So it'll be interesting to see how these two teams start. We've seen lots of rocks in play throughout the week with both of these teams, so we saw a little bit of a different strategy this morning to start off the game, so we'll see if they do the same, just kind of getting a feel for what's out there. A couple of these players haven't even been in this position before, so they may want to start just a bit slower and work their way through.
As Melissa was saying, Corey, we saw how the first few ends of our opening match today were very, very defensive, very reserved, very patient, really feeling each other and the ice out. Do you think we see that again here, or do we since there's a lot more to play for now, do they open it up a little bit and try and get a few more scoring ends?
That's right, Rotero, and I think that these teams are really not afraid to put rocks in play right away. During the round robin, there is no hesitation on either side of these teams trying to push the envelope early and generate some multiple point situations. So we should see a good start, an aggressive start early.
And with that, first drop coming in. Sandra Comadina.
So we've talked about the ice here already today, and the ice has been just fantastic all week. Dane Gagnon and Nolan Reed have done just such a super job keeping the speed up around 15 and a half seconds hog to hog, and lots of curl, except when you throw the high hard one, it will run straight.
That's right. The speed has just been fantastic for sweeping draws into the rings. If you up the weight a little bit on the takeouts, they will run straight. So keeping it a nice control weight to bring your sweepers into play is going to make a lot of shots for you. And like I said, the speed's been great for draw shots, and the sweepers can carry it a really long ways.
So this is exactly what we talked about at the beginning of the broadcast, is that Sarah Wark does like rocks in play, and with hammer, she likes to try and force the issue sooner than later. So there goes the corner guard, and already have 2 rocks in play.
I like it. I like it. After the last match, while I take nothing away from either team, I do like. I'm a fan of more rocks in play as well. A lot more terrain to play around, a lot more action, especially as we saw at the end of the last game, where it was quite the packed house as they tried to figure out who was going to walk away with the points. And I would not say no to a little more of that as we kick things off here on the 3-4 playoff.
Yes, and there's something to be said trying to go for it early.
You got a piece?
If it doesn't work out in your favor, there's still so much game to come back and use, right? So why not take some risk? Why not try to generate something for your team, and hopefully it works out for either side.
If you're going to go down 2 or 3, do it in the first or second inning when you have all that time to make it back up.
Roll.
Walk at the first end
Stay
here
close.
for
Clean
Michelle
it. Yep,
Dunn.
Yep, hard. Wall, off. Close. Roll.
Michelle Dunn playing for the Gushulak Curling Club, where Team Wark is based. Herself out of North Vancouver. Which is a medical laboratory technologist at Lionsgate Hospital.
13-1. Good throw.
She's already about 1 million times better than me.
Michelle threw that rock really great. They were on and off it and just needed to be on it a little bit more towards the break point. And unfortunately, it just ticked the guard at the top. So managed to stay in the ring, so it forces Diane Gushulak to have to go after it.
Look at now, Jessie Sanderson, top throwing second in the entire round robin, 88%. That is top of all players, period, in the round robin.
That's right. Super impressive numbers from Jessie Sanderson. Really is the model of consistency through the entire round robin, posting an 88 throughout the whole week. That's an impressive performance by Jessie.
No mean feat by the native of Coquitlam, BC. About 17 years experience that she comes into this with. Stephanie Prince from Team Wark.
Yes, really
On
hard
the exact other end of the spectrum, throwing a 62 this weekend. So you have an 88 and a 62.
Really hard the whole way. Go,
Decent spread.
Really
And already, as soon as it's
hard,
out of her hands, Stephanie calling all the way.
Watch the roll. Watch the
And it's going to nick that guard as well.
So this is a new position for Stephanie to be in. She's played a lot of juniors. She's made it to podium before in juniors. However, she has never been in this position in ladies curling. So there's going to be a lot of pressure on her, and I'm sure she has seen the numbers as well. And she's going to want to try and perform, but it's a matter of getting her nerves in check early and trying to come out with the best game that she can.
That's right, Melissa. Relatively green front end on the Wark team here. However, they still managed to finish third overall after the round robin, so it's just the shots that you do make that count.
And with that shot, we still have one blue rock in the house for Team Gushulak. Situation likely to be remedied before this end is out, though I'm sure the rocks do the talking for us here.
Yep. Whoa. Yes, hard. Whoa, yep, hard. Really hard. Go.
And that will roll, despite the urging of the skip. And that clears the house. Still the corner guard sitting in play. Plenty of ice out there. And what did they do with it here, Melissa?
Well, Diane has two options here. She can easily just run up and peel that guard, but she's going to draw to the open side, trying to take the play away from that corner guard. She would love to force Sarah Wark to take a single here in the first end.
Grace McInnes, third for Team Gushulak, through 82% over the round robin. Second place among all thirds. Behind only Holly Donaldson, who we saw in our first game, in Hudima, sorry. Nice and easy. Grace. And that will park itself rather nicely in the 12. Grace's counterpart on Team Wark, Kristen Pilot, threw a 70 over the course of the round robin play. You're going to hear this theme a lot as I go over the players. You have the Team Gushulak throwing very high percentage, Team Wark throwing low percentage. And here we are.
So Kristen has a lot of experience. She's been to a Scotties national before. And this is a great call by Sarah Wark. Again, she has some experience behind her. She's completely ignoring that Gushulak stone on the other side of the rings, trying to get one fully buried behind that corner guard, and really trying to force the issue to set up a deuce here in the one.
Overcurls a bit. There's a little bit of room on the far side of that guard, but she does have one in the rings. It's not shot rock, I don't believe. And Gushulak has a decision to make.
Yeah, Team Wark really wanted that to be shot rock so that it would force Diane Gushulak to have to make a different call here. So now they can easily try and split the rings, sitting two. Oh, she's changed her mind.
Didn't like the draw?
She didn't like the draw coming towards the corner guard because that's exactly what Sarah Wark would want her to do. So she's decided to draw open side yet again. The only problem with this, Corey, I think, is if they put these in a position where there could be a double and they could stick their shooter and potentially red could get two this way.
That's right. The only way that Sarah Wark can bring that red around the guard back into play is to for Team Gushulak to set up some sort of double here, double opportunity. So it's relatively precise shot. But as long as they keep the distance between the blue stones and have a higher degree of difficulty on the double.
And they're looking at that far side now. Are they thinking double with this? Perhaps the angle is there. Certainly not an easy one.
I don't think they can retain their shooter if they make the double. Actually, that rock thrown by Team Gushulak's in a very good spot. And if they do make the double, the red one might roll out of the rings.
And indeed, they will get one. And they will roll themselves. Ooh, that's right. That's almost level with the Gushulak stone. That's just eyeballing. That's a tough one to see who's shot rock.
So Diane's going to be looking for the nose hit on the red stone at the top of the 4 foot here.
Diane Gushulak, best skip by percentage in the round robin, 79%. Average dragged down a bit by a uncharacteristic 64 in her final draw. Now, speaking of draws, Corey, these teams, of course, did meet in round robin play.
That's right. They did meet in draw 4 of the round robin, where Wark actually won that game 7-5 over Team Gushulak. However, Team Gushulak out-curled Team Wark. Gushulak shooting 80% as a team, and the Wark team was 76%. So, a bit of a theme here in terms of execution, but not always getting the result that you want on the scoreboard at the end of the day.
And for Sarah Wark, skip 4, the aptly named Team Wark, curled 70% this weekend through the round robin. It's right in the middle of the pack. Generally speaking, has been getting better as the tournament has gone along. That translates into form. That means she's peaking at the right time. That's going to be excellent for her and her teammates.
So I think the double is there now, Corey, and she can retain her shooter and actually be close to be setting up a deuce here in one.
Yes, absolutely. Diane's rock just rolled a little bit too far across the center line there and left sort of a just off nose double opportunity for Sarah.
One, she gets 2, and it will roll out right out of the rings. 2 live for Wark.
Great shot.
Not bad at all from the 2015 women's silver medalist. You mentioned, Melissa, she has this experience available to her. Although the front might be young, their skip has that experience. Gold from BC mixed 2009, 2014, a mixed bronze in 2009. That's the kind of person you want leading a young team. Someone who can say, look, I've been there. I know how to do this.
Most definitely. Sarah's been on the scene for a long time, and she has been in many, many pressure games. So she knows what she needs to do, and she just needs to keep her nerves in check. Sometimes with Sarah, we do see her throw the up weight almost too much. So it's going to be with the ice this quick. She's going to have to be careful not to overthrow her hits.
Gushulak with her final stone of the end. Has a few medals to her name as well. Bronze in 2015, silver in 2009. And that's a pretty good nose hit. That is shot rock, though it does set up Sarah Wark to get a double to open up the scoring.
So it's very interesting how this ended. It seemed like a very harmless end that developed into a potential deuce here for Team Wark. It's simply that great shot, that great draw around that corner, and Diane Gushulak choosing to group her stones together on the right-hand side of the sheet instead of splitting the rings like she initially thought. And here we are, open hit for 2.
Far cry from the very defensive leanings that we saw in the first few ends of the previous game. Both these teams have no compunctions whatsoever. Putting rocks in the house, and with the final stone of the first end, Sarah Wark for 2. Sweepers are just keeping it clean. And there it is. Easy as you like. 2 points for Sarah Wark. It's a good start for the teamwork. We talked about it last game, getting that 2 points. Whoever can get that, set that early pace, puts himself in a good stead for the rest of the game. We'll be back with the second end after this break. Don't go anywhere.
Curling, the game with the ice and the rocks and the sweeping and the yelling. Each game starts with a handshake. Then, 2 teams of 4 people take turns throwing 44-pound stones down a sheet of ice. Each team throws 8 rocks, and the team closest to the center after all the rocks are thrown will score the points. This process is repeated for 6 to 10 rounds until one team is victorious. It's just that simple. Or is it?
I'm Melissa Saligo, Olympian and Crow BC provincial coach. Curling to me is different from other sports. There is fierce competition on the ice, but off the ice, you are part of a worldwide family that you will be a member of forever. Curl BC wants our curling family to grow and thrive. That's why we're asking your help in supporting the Curling for Life Endowment Fund, which was set up to support curling centers across the province. Visit curlbc.ca/fund to learn more.
Browse the used.ca website to reveal hundreds of colorful items. Hit the button to buy, sell, and trade used goods with members of the local community. Styles for any curler. Search online at used.ca.
Back now for the second end, and here's some highlights from the first.
Yeah, things weren't going overly well for teamwork to start off that end. They hit that corner or that center guard, but with a couple of small mistakes by Team Gushulak, somehow teamwork managed to set up their deuce. They with a great double by Sarah Wark and a hit and stick on our last one.
Diane was looking for the roll behind there, but it curled up too much to the nose, leaving Sarah a relatively easy shot, nose hit to score that deuce.
And that is where the score sits now. Team Wark 2. Gushulak no score in the second end. As we've already seen rock come down, this will be the first rock for lead Sandra Comedina.
Sandra, nice weight. 61.
Second rock, my apologies.
So same principle here. Team Wark through the first one, top 4, went top 8. Corner guard being thrown by Team Gushulak to try and find a way to set up a deuce. That corner guard just curled a little bit too much. It's actually covering kind of the outside 12 foot, so not exactly in a great position.
Lots of line still. We gotta wait. Yeah, we just gotta wait. We're just a little further out there.
We're just going to wait for this, let it curl.
Yeah, go in. Switch. Yeah, hard. Push hard. Really hard.
Once again, we see that commitment to keeping rocks in the house, putting guards in play. Although this may end up getting closer to the 12 than they like, but they'll get it there. It's not a bad centerline guard. And with the tone of this game already set fairly convincingly, only an end and a bit in, it's not hit. We are actually seeing rocks staying in play, building up something to play around.
Tons of room.
It's a lot easier on the eyes, I will say that much.
So Team Gushulak had a couple of options here. They could obviously try and hit the open one that's on the 8 foot, but they put up that corner guard and they want to try and get one buried. And they're hoping just to hang on at the back there. So fully buried behind the corner. However, second shot. So this is a way that Team Gushulak's trying to set up some opportunities for a deuce.
Yeah, just back 8. Back 4 is fine. Just draw.
So this is a relatively aggressive call from Sarah Wark here. Because that corner guard is so tight to the ring, she could choose to hit and roll in from it and roll behind her center guard, but she's choosing to ignore it, come around and try to make a play in the forefoot a little bit better to put pressure on Team Gushulak.
Really hard right up. You gotta go, gotta go, gotta go. Really hard right up, girls. Really hard. You really gotta go. Go, go, go. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Hard, hard, hard. You gotta
Trying
go
really hard
hard,
to get this one by the center, and it's going to
Gonna nose hit
tap.
there, right there.
Hard, 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 hard. Okay.
And they will lie too. I don't know if they intended to do that.
You don't have any air there, do you?
Originally, they wanted to come around, obviously, as Corey said, get one top four, put some pressure on Gushulak. But it overcurled, and
What's that?
the advantage was they pushed another one into the ring, so they are sitting two, and Diane Gushulak has no choice but to deal with it.
Oh, sorry. I can't hear you. Yeah, got it. 10.
So a little bit of discussion there for Jesse Sanderson's shot. It looks like they chose to hit and roll this red and roll behind the corner guard. Is that correct, Melissa?
I believe so, yes. They can see almost all of that one, and they definitely don't want to leave those red stones where they are right now.
Really hard. 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 Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa.
And they're around the guard. They'll hit the one in the 12. The second behind, not much roll there at all.
So it's not a bad option. I mean, obviously they wanted the roll, but at least by leaving there, it forces Sarah Wark to have to deal with it. And if for any reason they hit and roll out, then Team Gushulak would be in a good position now. So really important that Stephanie Prince sticks her shooter on this one.
It's a second rock, second end.
Whoa. Okay. Whoa.
She hit. She will stick around. Once again, 2 stones in scoring position. Although I say that, it looks like that blue stone from Team Gushulak might actually be second shot.
I think Fred's sitting 2 right now, Arturo.
I trust your eyes better than mine. You have a wonderful sight line down to the near house.
Hard.
This is why we have experts in the broadcast booth.
Hard. Whoa.
So Corey, they're really having trouble getting that hit and roll.
You're good, Jess.
That's right. And it looks like Jesse's throwing the correct weight, and maybe the ice is just a little bit too tight to get the high side of that rock and get a roll out of it.
With a 2-point advantage, the last thing Sarah Wark is going to do is leave opposition stones in the ring, so definitely wants to remove this one and preferably try and get a roll towards the center. She's going to keep her foot on the gas pedal as much as she can.
Christine Pilot's first rock at the second end.
Okay.
It's a lot of weight.
And a lot of roll. And that will leave play.
Although that was a fairly straightforward shot, the importance of it is you have to keep your shooter in play. You have to roll onto the rings there, because the exact thing that we've been talking about for the last couple of rocks is going to happen here. That blue one at the back is now in play.
Definitely opening the door for Team Gushulak to make a nice shot and generate some points here.
Clean left. Whoa.
Chance to lie 2 if they can keep the shooter around. Around the guard. There's the hit, there's the roll, and they will stick around. And now facing 2 blue stones. Sarah Wark opts to look at the closest one. Let's have a look at that shot again.
Great brushing by Team Gushulak. That one, they were hard cleaning on and off, and as soon as they lifted their brooms, it did make a turn, so they had to go on it for the last half of that rock path. That's the thing with this ice, is you have to be very careful. If you aren't sweeping it, it is going to curl.
Steph, you got a roll here. Anything you got. Okay.
One thing I've noticed, Melissa, is that the Wark team has thrown a considerable amount more weight for those open takeouts than the Gushulak team. Essentially taking their sweepers out of it more so than not. I like the control that Team Gushulak has and bringing the sweepers into virtually every shot.
I agree. It's nice. This is perfect weight to throw that control weight on and manage the stone path.
Okay, nice throw.
So if Team Gushulak can hang on here for a couple more stones, it looks like they could be scoring a deuce.
It's time for the skips to take over. See what Sarah Wark can manufacture here.
Sarah's really looking for a hit and roll, and I can imagine that they're going to try and call this a little bit aggressive. They would love to get that roll behind the center, and if it goes too far, that would be okay.
That's right, Melissa. Even if you over-roll to the other side of that guard and expose it for Team Gushulak, at least you give a different visual for their next takeout. And more times than not, you'll actually end up rolling it perfect behind that guard.
That's right.
Whoa. Yeah. Hard. Really hard, guys. Really hard. Hard. Whoa.
She'll get the roll. Quite a lot of roll. And she will keep shot rock. House firmly split.
A little less, I think. There, yeah. All right, fine.
Like Corey mentioned, the rock's in a different place now. So, Diane, we haven't thrown one out here yet in the first couple ends here. So this will be our first look at the path out here in the 12-foot. Obviously, Diane Gushulak looking for a nose hit.
Diana, volunteer with the Sandra Schmirler Foundation. Plenty of involvement in the game at all levels. They're throwing the first stone of the second end.
You like to hear clean when you're a brusher. It's a good shot.
So now for Team Wark, staring down at a potential deuce against them here. What is the best thing they have left to try and prevent that?
Well, there's not much. They can play for the roll behind that guard, but even if they make it, it'll be relatively deep in the rings, leaving Team Gushulak with just a short tap back to bring that other blue into play. But that's Sarah Wark's objective right now, is just to make it a little bit tougher on Diane for her last shot.
Hit, she will roll further out. That does remove the second stone from scoring at the current moment, though. One takeout. And Gushulak will have her too.
I thought that was a really good 9-5.
A little what? More? Yeah, I think. It's a lot of rings to roll across. Same way.
Fairly routine shot here for Dan Gushulak, but never want to assume anything, especially not with your final rock. Chance to even the score. There's not look at the face of someone who's happy with that shot.
Clean would be good, but they're comfortable with that. Great shot.
And she'll get it. There's her two. And after two ends, we are level at 2. Stick around, third end coming up on Shaw TV Sports. You're watching the 2017 Women's Provincial Championships, presented by Best Western.
I'm Melissa Saligo, Olympian and Crow BC provincial coach. Curling to me is different from other sports. There is fierce competition on the ice, but off the ice, you are part of a worldwide family that you will be a member of forever. Curl BC wants our curling family to grow and thrive. That's why we're asking your help in supporting the Curling for Life Endowment Fund, which was set up to support curling centers across the province. Visit curlbc.ca/fund to learn more.
Browse the used.ca website to reveal hundreds of colorful items. Hit the button to buy, sell, and trade used goods with members of the local community. Styles for any curler. Search online at used.ca.
Curling! The game with the ice, and the rocks, and the sweeping, and the yelling. Each game starts with a handshake. Then, 2 teams of 4 people take turns throwing 44-pound stones down a sheet of ice. Each team throws 8 rocks, and the team closest to the center after all the rocks are thrown will score the points. This process is repeated for 6 to 10 rounds until one team is victorious. It's just that simple. Or is it?
Looking back now on the final few shots of the second end as we get ready for the third end here. Wark v. Gushulak. Diane Gushulak scoring a 2 in the second end to level the score at 2. Sarah Wark doing her best to try and limit the damage, but ultimately not much she could do there, Melissa.
Yeah, 2 great shots by Diane Gushulak, and then this is all a result of a hit and roll out earlier in the end. But great job by Diane, and sets up her deuce.
And with the scores all level, the hammer back in the hands of Team Wark. Michelle done with her rock.
Looks like the same pattern will be followed here. First rock in the rings. Team Wark with hammer is going to throw up the corner guard.
A little bit tighter to the center line than we saw last time. They'll be happy with that. High guard, too. Very high. To work with for Sandra Comedina.
That's coming in, isn't it?
So you hear them saying 7, that's T-line weight. They use a system from hog line to back line, and 7 is about T-line.
She wasn't far off with that call. 2 blue stones in the house. For the next, I would say, 10 seconds.
2 options, obviously, Corey. They could throw the come around or throw the hit, and it looks like they've elected to throw the hit with those 2 rocks on the forefoot.
Yep, I like this call, Melissa. Even if you just stick around and trade hits for a while, eventually the rocks will be high enough in the rings, and you can hit and roll behind that corner and keep it around that top 8 area.
Just the single with the nose hit there. Was she looking for the double, Melissa?
I believe she was, yes. And like Corey said, though, if she just exchanges stones, eventually she's going to have that opportunity to hit and roll behind.
And stay above the tee line.
Stay above the tee, absolutely.
Jesse Sanderson's first of the end.
Not yet.
She will hit, she will roll. Keep the shooter in play. Right in the middle of the 12 and the 8. And Gushulak lies 2.
So I think because that rock didn't stick into the forefoot area, Sarah's a little bit more comfortable with just ignoring them. And she's decided to go around the corner and hopefully, similar to what she did in the first end, is try and set up a deuce that way.
That's right. Sarah knows that she can be fully buried around this corner guard in pretty much the full 8-foot still, which means she'll be second shot. But this one looks like it's over curling just a touch.
T-line weight. She'll be happy with that. As you said, the is exposed.
I'd rather rip the guard.
So ultimately, that tends to be somewhat moot as they decided to remove the guard from play.
So even though that rock is third shot, it's the guard that's going to come into play that will hurt Diane Gushulak. So she's noticed that, and now she's going to remove it. And eventually, Sarah's going to have to deal with the two blue ones on the other side of the house.
Go through the house, not trouble any of the other blue stones there.
Yep, hard. Really hard. Really, really hard. Go, go, go. Every inch, every inch. Okay, that's good. Nice.
She'll get a little bit of roll, not much. She will have shot rock, but only for a moment.
10.
So Diane's going to try really hard to roll this one to the center and not leave a relatively automatic double for Team Wark.
It's a lot of weight, more I think than Diane was expecting, but good
Still
result.
worked out.
Gets the roll.
No double there, that's perfect.
So now for Sarah Wark, does she try and hit and roll and chase after it, or what does she do here?
She would really like to group the blue stones together eventually, so if she can hit and roll towards the other blue one, Diane's going to keep trying to roll away and keep her stones apart. And it just depends on who gets the first double, if there's an opportunity for a double.
Yep.
But we'll just see them exchange rocks here for the rest of the end.
Hard, really, really hard. Every inch. Gotta go, gotta go, gotta go. Gotta go. Really hard, really
Once her
hard.
sweeper's on this, she'll get the hit, she'll get the roll. You mentioned that grouping is now possible. Taking a look at that again. See, there's your hit and roll.
It's a good roll. There's still obviously the opportunity for the short run back if Diane elects to play it. The other option is exactly what she's doing here. She's ignoring those ones in the forefoot area because she knows that Sarah Wark has to deal with that one that's above hers. So she's just going to hit the open one right now and let Sarah have to deal with the ones in the middle. I like this call.
That's right. This is a great call, actually, by Diane. We saw that she initially went to that top blue to try to run it back, but make the other team force the issue on a tougher shot like that.
Now a moment of reflection from Sarah Wark, but it looks like she's thinking double.
She is. Unfortunately, that stone of Grace McInnes is rolled just a little bit towards the center line, so there is a possible double there on the blue ones.
You mentioned seeing who would get that first double. We'll see if this is it for Team Wark.
That's right, but because that call of Diane on that last one, this is quite a precise shot being asked for Kristen. Not really a lot of margin for error here.
For someone who's curled 70% throughout the tournament, that is quite the ask. Sweepers are working it. Will she get there? She will clear the house.
Yeah, just hit a little bit too thick. Otherwise, she would have cleared that back red one, but a good shot nonetheless.
So with just the red shooter left behind, are we looking at a blank end, or does she take the one?
Yeah, I would expect a blank end out of this one. Just curled up a little bit too much. Sweepers were working it pretty hard to keep it straight, but it jammed on the back one, and now the opportunity for two is not there.
Diane Gushulak, the native of Vancouver, Royal City Curling Club in New Westminster, where her rink is playing out of. Her first stone of the third end. Should just be a simple matter to remove the red stone.
Going over the nose. You can. Nice throw, Diane. Nice one.
Bang on nose hit. Should be fairly by the numbers from here on out, Corey.
Yeah, for sure. It's nose, and then
Okay,
we should see a blank attempt coming up.
When asked about some of her passions and pastimes when she's not curling, Sarah Wark gave two very simple answers: yoga and beer.
Right to the point.
I don't know if you can get any further apart on the spectrum there.
True.
There's the nose. So assuming all goes to plan here, blank end, Team Wark will retain the hammer going into the fourth end, the all-important even end. Now we've seen excellent so far, some fairly aggressive play. We've seen rocks in the house. Much more interesting from a broadcast perspective. Do we see that continue, or do they start to get a little more defensive, a little more concerned about the game opening up too far as we get into the later ends?
Well, what I've noticed so far is that the team that has hammer is making decisions that leave them with relatively low risk to score their one anyways. If it doesn't go their way, they can always get out at the end by scoring their one, but have had lots of opportunities to set up that deuce. So it's been some smart decisions by both teams when they've had the hammer.
Yeah, that's a good point, Corey. They're not going overly aggressive that things are getting crazy. They are just making smart decisions.
Should be just a simple matter of peeling off that last rock for the blank end for Sarah Wark. Final rock of the third end. Missed to retain the hammer. And to go into the fourth. Tied at 2. Not much action from the sweepers. And there it is. Blank end by Sarah Wark. She remains tied with Diane Gushulak 2-all. At the end of the third end, let's head down to ice level and Nancy Wilmot.
I'm here at ice level with Rebecca Conant-Price. And Rebecca, you're the communication and marketing manager for Curl BC. Welcome.
Thank you, Nancy.
Now, we've been watching these ladies curl. They make it look so easy, but curling isn't exactly an easy sport, is it?
No, it's not easy, and it's definitely a lot more challenging than these girls make it look. But it is also a lot of fun. People really enjoy it. They get hooked on it, and they always want to come back. It's a social sport. It's a team sport. It's great fun.
But you're making it sound like anybody can curl. Can't anybody learn to curl?
Yeah, anyone can curl. Curling centers, they're not private clubs. Anyone can curl. So if someone's interested in curling, they can just go to our website, curlbc.ca, and search for Start Curling. And there's a curling center in almost every community across BC.
Excellent. Rebecca, thank you so much for telling us about it. There you go. You want to learn how to do this? Go to curlbc.ca. Rituro, back to you.
Thank you, Nancy. We are all tied up at 2. Here are some highlights from that third end. First blank end of this game. One that certainly had potential, but just a little bit off.
That jam in the back of the forefoot was what eliminated the deuce possibility for Team Wark. And a smart decision by Diane to leave it for Team Wark. And then perfectly thrown stone here by Sarah to blank the end.
With that, we head on to the fourth end. Gushulak sending down their first rock. They will again put it in the house, following the script as same as before. This one's staying a little bit higher than their previous ones. And now does Team Wark respond with a guard in kind?
We don't want them to go off script, so I think they are going to throw the corner guard.
We like the script they're playing from for this game. This is quite nice. To take nothing away from Marlon and Hidima from last game.
The 3, Sandra. Not
And
too
there's
tight.
your corner guard.
Line's good. Curling now. There it goes. Just at this logo if you can.
What's interesting,
Deeper.
Corey, is that we've been watching this now. This is the fourth straight end that we've been doing this. First one in, corner guard. Second one in or tight. And it'll be interesting if we continue
Nice
down the
throw.
path of
63.
not resulting in multiple points. Will they try something else? I know that your team tries
Wait, Sandra.
maybe some different options once in a while to try and spread those rocks or put them in different spots instead of doing the exact same pattern every game, every end.
That's right. There's always something to be said about changing it up and giving a different visual for the opposition to try to generate a mistake. I like how Team Gushulak left this one short of the rings. That's the first time that we've seen a deliberate center guard there, so it might generate some more play around the center to force the issue on Team Wark.
Really hard, Kristen.
Across the center line now has this one, trying to get around that guard.
Push hard. Yeah, go, go, go.
And they will.
Go, 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 go.
Trying to curl enough to get behind their own guard, but it will sit second shot. Well, that does leave the hit and roll open.
Yeah, again, a couple extra feet on that red stone, it would have had the carry to bury around that corner guard. So it is fairly wide open for Jesse Sanderson.
They want those sweepers working this. It's going to nick the guard and just miss the red stone in the rings and go straight through. The guard moves position, the shooter's gone.
That's right, a relatively uncharacteristic miss from Jessie Sanderson there. She's been posting phenomenal numbers all week, and that one just curled up a little bit more than they expected. I think the weight was good though. Just lost the sweep at the beginning.
Now an opportunity here. Team Wark to take advantage.
Really hard. Really hard.
Stephanie
Really
Prince
hard all the way.
have lined up here.
Really gotta go. Push hard, girls. Really gotta go. Push hard. Every inch. Okay, whoa. Michelle rolls.
And there's the roll.
So you could tell that Stephanie Prince threw that a little tight on that one. It was sweepers were on it immediately. Not the best result there.
There were a couple of options there, Corey. She could have elected to draw to the open side or hit the one that was, it looked like it was open, the blue stone, and try and sit two that
Yep. Clean.
way. But they decided to peel that tight center because she wasn't comfortable with leaving that there.
Yep. Good throw.
Stephanie Prince. Right off is the call.
Don't touch it.
I think her weight, they wanted a 10.
Oh, but she'll get nothing.
She threw a lot more weight than the weight that was called. It's a big miss for Stephanie Prince. That one just didn't have an opportunity to curl at all. And that's an unfortunate miss.
That's right, a little bit charged on that one, taking the sweepers right out of it.
It's a great position for Diane Gushulak and her team. Both those stones in kind of top 12, top 8. So she, in order to try and score here or steal, she will need to try and get one in the forefoot at some point, and that's what they're talking about right now.
What's that?
Uncharacteristic, misses from both seconds in this end.
Where you want to come? Over the nose?
As the pressure begins to mount through 3 ends. Skips, Diane Gushulak and Sarah Wark, best shooting percentages for their teams, both shooting 92%. As we mentioned, the Wark team behind Sarah a ways off. Done at 79, Kristen Pielelt at 75, and Stephanie Prince at 67%.
Oh. No, don't touch.
Don't touch is the call. Off the guard, there's the roll. They get behind that other guard. A little too far for that. But it's still 3 in the house for Gushulak.
What do you think about that call, Corey?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Even if she makes that roll in perfect, there's still not a lot of pressure on Team Wark just because those blue stones aren't in a great position to steal, that's for sure. So lots of opportunity still for Team Wark to set something up here.
I thought that was a great opportunity for Diane Gushulak to put her foot on the gas pedal and maybe tap one of those blue ones back into the forefoot and really put the pressure on Sarah Wark's team.
Whoa. Anything, Steph.
Bit of a roll there. She'll get shot rock out of it. Should not be an issue at all. That stone to be removed. So Diane Gushulak in a good position here to either force Wark to take one or, best case scenario, put up a sizable steal here in the 4th end, which would be absolutely heavenly if you're Diane Gushulak.
Definitely the force is on right now. Diane would be happy with a nose hit right here and try and keep rocks in front of that forefoot area and make it very difficult for Sarah to get in there if she needs to.
As a professional, Corey, when you're staring down a steal of 3 potentially, and realizing, okay, we might need to do some work to save this end, what's going through your mind?
That's right. Diane's thinking if she can keep her blues sort of around the rings and force Sarah to draw against them on her last, then she could get a potential miss out of Team Wark. So she's just trying to eliminate the red that's in the rings that Team Wark is trying to stick around. And have Sarah looking at a pile for her last shot.
So with that, we actually managed to roll and freeze on the underside of that blue rock. Won't be as easy to remove it, though the option is still there. And I believe that's what she's calling here.
That was a good roll by Kristen, and Diane can see the majority of that stone, so the goal here is to hit and roll away. You have to be really careful with this one, though. And I think for Team Gushulak, it's okay to be aggressive on the line call because you'd rather hit it on the high side than let it over curl.
First stone of the 4th end for skip Diane Gushulak. Has done well to take control of this end when presented with the opportunity. A chance to put her stamp on it.
Yep. Clean. Yep. Hard. You got it. Great shot, Diane. Great shot.
There it is. There's
Nice
the hit.
shot.
There's the roll. Would she have wanted a bit more roll on that, Melissa, or would you just take that given the shot that was presented to you?
I think it doesn't matter. Like she's leaving Sarah an opportunity for a hit and roll, so I think I would have liked it to roll a little farther away. Sarah's been playing the same shot, and one of these times, if she gets that hit and roll, she could be setting up a skipper's deuce here. So anywhere farther away would have been okay. seen some challenges so far on this ice, Corey, trying to get those hit and rolls perfect, though.
That's right. We haven't seen too many over curl and bring the sweepers into play as much as we've seen the high side watch it go down, and then we just end up nosing. So perhaps just even half a second less on the weight can get that extra turn near the end.
Her sweepers working this one. To get there, there's the hit, there's the roll, and she will almost get behind that guard, still leaving about a quarter of it exposed. She did get almost enough roll there.
And this is what we've been talking about, Arturo, is that if they were more aggressive on that and just left that longer, the farther roll would almost be better, because now it's just really a nose hit for Diane Gushulak to remove that red stone. So she threw it great, Sarah Wark did, and if they would have just left it and a little bit more, get another 3 feet of curl out of that thing, or 3 feet of roll, would have been in a great position to maybe set something up.
So in a situation like that, when you call your sweepers onto it, is it a case of, I don't want this shot to go wrong? Is that where that's coming from?
They're just playing it cautiously, absolutely, and with the way that the end is set up right now, I think they could have been a little bit more aggressive on the call. No, they didn't want to lose their shooter, but if Diane makes this good, she'll be making a draw against 3.
So I think Diane should really try hard to get on the inside of this shot, roll to the center, and have Sarah looking at a potential draw on her last, but to the side of the forefoot instead of pretty much wide open here.
Yep, not the best placement. Leaves everything open for a draw to the button for 1. Even just to the 8 will do it.
That's right. They're still sitting 3, so mission accomplished there. If you're able to roll it about 2 feet over onto the center line, you could really force Team Wark to take a new path that's a bit wider and a greater chance to generate a miss. But Sarah should have this one. This looks exactly like the last stone draw to the button path that they practiced in the pregame practice beforehand.
Once again, sweepers on that stone early. Like the line, they say. They have the weight. Hog time, 15:32.
And it looks good.
Nice shot.
And there it is. Right to the button. Easy as you like. 1 for Team Wark. They go up 3-2. The end of the 4th end. 5th end coming up. Team Gushulak will have the hammer. Don't go away. We're going to have that right after this.
Browse the used.ca website to reveal hundreds of colorful items. Hit button to buy, sell, and trade used goods with members of the local community. Styles for any curler. Search online at used.ca.
Curling! The game with the ice, and the rocks, and the sweeping, and the yelling. Each game starts with a handshake. Then, 2 teams of 4 people take turns throwing 44-pound stones down a sheet of ice. Each team throws 8 rocks, and the team closest to the center after all the rocks are thrown will score the points. This process is repeated for 6 to 10 rounds until one team is victorious. It's just that simple. Or is it?
I'm Melissa Saligo, Olympian and Crow BC provincial coach. Curling to me is different from other sports. There is fierce competition on the ice, but off the ice, you are part of a worldwide family that you will be a member of forever. Curl BC wants our curling family to grow and thrive. That's why we're asking your help in supporting the Curling for Life Endowment Fund, which was set up to support curling centers across the province. Visit curlbc.ca/fund to learn more.
Back now at the 4th end. A little bit of uncharacteristic play here from both Gushulak and Wark.
That's right. Jesse's going to make that shot 9 times out of 10 all week. So that one just overcurled that they unexpectedly overcurled, I should say. And then another miss there by Stephanie Prince. She just threw too much weight and it ran poker straight.
Left her skip. Sarah Wark, with just a draw for 1, but she makes no mistake on that. Facing 3, needs to stick it, and she does. Takes her single, goes up 3-2 in the 5th end.
That was a great draw by Sarah Wark. That's a confidence booster for her going into the later half of this game. Good for her. So different little bit of strategy going on right now. Sarah wanted a deuce or a blank in an even end, so now that it's the 5th end and Diane Gushulak has hammer, Sarah's decided to throw up a center guard. They would have liked it a little bit tighter, but she wants to bring the play now into the center area and try and force Team Gushulak to a single point.
That's right. For Team Wark, this would be a good end to force Team Gushulak to a single and take the hammer into the 6th again.
Second stone here for Michelle Dunn. Will get there and roll out to the 12.
That's a good roll for Michelle and Team Wark. They are keeping that rock away from that center. They couldn't get it fully buried by coming to the nose of that shot. So good opportunity here now for Team Gushulak. They're ignoring that red stone and she's trying to bury one behind the center line. Diane's going to work very hard to try and get a deuce here in the 5th, and Sarah's going to work really hard to force her to 1.
Still got tons of room.
She would have liked a little bit more curl on this, perhaps. Won't be completely buried behind that guard, but it does lie a shot rock in the 8.
Nice weight, Sarah. Okay.
There it is, easy as you like. 2 red stones in the house for Team Wark.
I kind of like a 10, personally. 5 roll. Yeah, just 10. Yep.
So it looks like they're going to throw a 10 from hog to hog, and that will allow some movement on this stone as it gets past the second hog line, and Diane looking for a hit and roll behind that high center.
Jesse Sanderson throwing this.
No.
Had that miss in the previous end. To make up for it. She gets the hit, she gets the roll.
That was plan B.
When you can't get plan A, go for plan B.
That's right.
Just top 8.
So with a little bit of an opportunity here. What's the plan for Team Wark?
Well, if they can sink this one behind the center, obviously, but keep it high in the rings. You don't want to go right to the top of the button or even the tee line right now because of the depth of that guard. There would always be enough room to curl around and punch it out. So if you can keep it just in the top 8 foot fully buried, that's a nice result there for Team Wark, but this looks a little heavy.
Still got a ways to curl. It's going to get there in the end. Ultimately, it's a nice draw to the 4. Certainly behind that guard.
Looks like it almost might have come out the other side. That's how much curl there is on this ice.
And you are absolutely right, Melissa. Look at that.
Wow.
Hack. Let's try hack. You catch the front, no big deal.
Caution being thrown to the wind there by Dan Gushulak. Throw the hack weight. Jesse Sanderson Ranked second for Team Gushulak. This is her 3 favorite hobbies when she's not curling, as traveling, hiking, and dancing. Picked up the game from her parents after watching them play league games. She seems to have picked up a few tricks, more than a few tricks along the way. Her 17 years of curling. Shooter will stick around, though, outside the house.
And it looks like Jessie was just a little full to the broom on that one. Weight was really close, pretty much bang on, actually, leaving the door open for Team Wark to place a better draw shot around the center guard here.
Placement was certainly there with the previous shot by Stephanie Prince. So it's just the weight that needs to be. It does a little tweak here from Kristen Pilot.
And like Corey mentioned, they don't want to come too deep on this one. If they could keep it a little bit higher, they're going to put a lot of pressure on Team Gushulak.
Really hard, Jen. Mine's great. Really hard. Gotta bite 8. Gotta bite 8. Really hard. Mine's perfect. Go, 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 go.
Mine's perfect. You hear the call.
Gotta bite 8.
Wark. There's that weight. Right in the 12.
That's a great shot.
Not only that, I believe that is, if not shot, second shot. Couldn't ask for much more there, Corey.
Yeah, that's a nice result there by Kristen. Sweepers were working it and gave it to them to position it decently. What do you think of this call, Melissa, to run this blue back in the wing here?
I think the problem for Diane Gushulak's team right now is that high center. They could easily run that center into a pile, either straight back and try and double something off. I'm not sure this is the right call, Corey.
They are committed to it. They'll try and tap their own. I'm not sure that was even plan B.
Yeah, that's right. Not in the tolerance range in order to miss that shot. Perhaps just up the weight a little bit too much and ran straighter than they expected.
Sorry, Rotaro, but the problem now is that because they played that shot, that high center is still there, and now Team Wark has an opportunity to make this shot even better, and now they can go a little bit deeper because they've got that one top 12, top 8. They can actually try and bury this top 4, and it's going to put Diane Gushulak behind the 8 ball.
We saw it last end, just one little slip up, and suddenly Gushulak could put all the pressure on Wark. Now it's a chance for Sarah Wark to return the favor. Through the 12, through the 8, to the 4. Just biting the 4. So there is still a play here for Diane Gushulak, and she's quick to point it out.
That one definitely didn't curl anywhere near her first one, so she may have been a little full to the broom as well. So huge shot here for Grace McInnes. She needs to hit and roll behind those 2 reds to try and get back in the driver's seat.
Grace McInnes, a national runner-up, 2009. Here's the hit, there's the roll. It will be shot rock.
And that's important. Remain shot and force Sarah Wark to hit the blue stone instead of positioning a draw around top 4. She's got to make a decision here.
Yeah, maybe a touch less. Touch less. Good. That's why I kind of like 9.
Decision has been made.
Sarah has to be careful here. She's called the hit and roll towards the center line. However, by the positioning of that blue stone, she wants to make sure that she doesn't hit and roll behind to back button. That would be the worst possible place for this rock to end up.
First rock of the 5th end for the skipper.
Really, really hard.
hit. She gets the roll. It's going to roll quite a ways. It'll just stick around at the edge of the house. Well, it definitely wasn't back button, Melissa.
No, it definitely wasn't. And that, not the result she wanted, but it's not the end of the world either by rolling away. Corey, did Diane elect to throw the come around draw?
She is, and what Diane has to her advantage is that the scoring area is still relatively large in terms of the entire 8-foot there. So if she can place this one precisely, there's still skips deuce into play.
Chance to retake the lead heading into the 5th end. After this, both skips will have 1 rock left. This is Gushulak's first.
Line's really good. Yeah, yeah. Hard. Line's really good. Hard.
I'd love to have this one top 4 if they could.
They need to get around that guard first. Oh, they'll just clip it.
It's perfect weight.
Can I see the whole thing?
And suddenly that deuce is all but gone there, Corey.
That was a really well thrown rock there by Diane. She essentially threw it to make it. And if they had swept it a little bit differently, they could have got by that top red for sure. Got on it a little bit sooner, anticipated the break point because the weight was perfect. Just an unfortunate result at the end.
Their final rock of the 5th, Sarah Wark. Chance to set up a steal. Put all the pressure back on her counterpart, Diane Gushulak. If her goal was to limit Gushulak to a single, mission accomplished, assuming all goes to plan here. She'll get around the guard. She'll hit, she'll stick. And that's an imposing red wall around the center line.
So that's a good position for Sarah Wark to stick that shooter, not roll anywhere. Diane's got to decide what to do now. Does she draw against 4? And if she does, she has to go out probably in a path that maybe we haven't seen yet. The other option, of course, is to hit that one on the edge of the 8-foot, half into the 12. And I'm not sure. I think that might be what they're looking at.
That's where the broom is right now.
Yep.
And that does look indeed to be the call, the hit and roll. Now we've seen this game, the hit and roll has not been successful, generally speaking, for either team, just not enough roll.
No. 9-5 or
So
something.
have they figured out the ice?
Just over the nose of here.
Facing very, very steep consequences should this shot not go off.
And it looks like the outturn side is wide open for the draw to the 8-foot because she would only need to hit full 8, but she's more comfortable with this. We've seen a couple hits down this exact path, so she feels that she knows this path, and that's what she needs to do is just flop a little bit towards the center line into the full 8 for her single. Got some curling to do.
And it's going to hit, it's going to nose and out, so it would be a steal of 1, I believe.
I think so.
And they're looking to see if it's 1 or 2. Are they going to measure that? It's 1 for sure. Sarah Wark will be very happy with that, but they are not entirely certain if it's 2. Let's take another look at it.
So the brushers really didn't have an opportunity to do anything with this. Diane threw it all on her own, maybe a little bit more weight than she was hoping for, and it didn't finish at all. So very unfortunate situation, unfortunate result, and it looks like they're measuring for a potential steal of 2.
And to think the goal was just to limit the damage to 1, they've they've exceeded that goal by leaps and bounds, have Team Wark. And now the always nerve-wracking measuring.
What would you have thrown there, Corey?
It wasn't a bad call. We hadn't seen a single rock being thrown on that out-turn path the entire end, so it was a bit of a guess if you were to decide to play that out-turn draw. However, the scoring area was still quite large with the entire 8-foot rings. But if you're not comfortable playing the draw, then there was still lots of room to make the hit and roll.
Steal of 1. Going to remeasure.
Just to make sure. Measure twice, score once. There it is. It is indeed a steal of 1.
No close-ups, okay?
I don't think Sarah Wark will be too unhappy about losing out on a steal of 2. She's got 1. She's up by 2 at the end of the 5th end. As we hit the halfway point. A very happy Sarah Wark is up by 2. We'll be right back after a quick break for the second half of this playoff match. The 2017 Women's Provincial Curling Championships here on Shaw TV, presented by Best Western.
I'm Melissa Saligo, Olympian and Crow BC provincial coach. Curling to me is different from other sports. There is fierce competition on the ice, but off the ice, you are part of a worldwide family that you will be a member of forever. Curl BC wants our curling family to grow and thrive. That's why we're asking your help in supporting the Curling for Life Endowment Fund, which was set up to support curling centers across the province. Visit curlbc.ca/fund to learn more.
Browse the used.ca website to reveal hundreds of colorful items. Hit the button to buy, sell, and trade used goods with members of the local community. Styles for any curler. Search online at used.ca.
Curling! The game with the ice, and the rocks, and the sweeping, and the yelling. Each game starts with a handshake. Then, 2 teams of 4 people take turns throwing 44-pound stones down a sheet of ice. Each team throws 8 rocks, and the team closest to the center after all the rocks are thrown will score the points. This process is repeated for 6 to 10 rounds until one team is victorious. It's just that simple. Or is it?
I'm here at ice level with skip Sarah Wark from Chilliwack. Sarah, you're going to be feeling pretty good about now.
Yeah, my team is playing really nice. We're playing very safe. We're keeping our rocks in the rings. Everybody's throwing nice weight. Everybody's calm and relaxed, so that's always good to see.
You say you're playing a nice, easy game. You're calm and relaxed, but you started off pretty aggressive. You counted 2 the first end.
Yeah, we like to get play started. We want to keep it exciting for the fans. We don't want to bore anybody out there, but it's more our style of play too, is to start going from the get-go.
Excellent. And you played Gushulak in the round robin. Was that the first time you played that team?
No, we played them lots this season. I've played them lots every season, so we're really comfortable playing them. It's always close, always a good game, and we trade wins back and forth, so it should be a good finish to this one.
Excellent. What can we watch in strategy in the second half?
We're going to keep it pretty much the same. We're definitely not safe by any means. We might have a couple-point lead, but they are very good at coming from behind. They know how to play aggressively well, so we're just going to try and keep it nice and easy and get our deuce when we get the hammer back.
Excellent. Well, Sarah, thank you so much for telling me about it. I'm going to let you get back because I know there's a second half of the game. You got to get ready for it.
Thanks so much.
Okay. Rotero, back to you and your team.
Thank you, Nancy, up in the broadcast booth. Rotero, Corey, and Melissa. Well, you heard it there from Sarah Wark. They are not going to change their game style. They want to keep this aggressive style play going. She's already got her next deuce planned out, if you heard that. So let's talk a bit about that play style. She said it's entertaining for the fans and the broadcasters, so thank you, Sarah. Let's talk about how this is played out for them.
Well, she's playing exactly what she wants to do. She has a specific game plan by always trying to get the deuce whenever she has hammer. That's what she wants to do, and it's been working out for her so far.
Now, one of the big tactical decisions being made this end, Corey, has been to go for the hit and roll. We've seen that called quite a lot. It hasn't really worked out. A lot of short rolls. Is that more the ice or just the situation?
It really comes down to weight control. If you can throw that softer takeout weight, bring your sweepers into play, it'll give you more area to manipulate the rock and try to get a roll precisely where you want it to end up.
And that said, it's not all lost for Team Gushulak. They have the hammer in the 6th end. They're only down by 2, a deuce and the right back in this. What's the key thing for Team Gushulak to know going into the 6th end, Melissa?
They just need to keep calm. It's still 5 ends to play, and like you said, they have hammer and an even end. Number 1, let's get their deuce back and see how the rest of it plays out.
All right, let's take a look at some highlights from the 5th end. A big end for Sarah Wark and company as they set up a steal of 1. Almost a steal of 2, but the measurement said no. So here we see the hit on the blue.
So that was a call we were unsure of, Arturo. We thought maybe she could have peeled the guard on that one rather than play that short run back. And that kind of set up a lot of pressure being put on Team Gushulak after that particular miss.
And Sarah Wark leading the team by example. Did not let her team down, made the shots when they counted. We talked about that in the introduction, how although the shooting percentage for Team Wark has not exactly been stellar, they make the shots when they matter. And Team Gushulak just doesn't get the right side of that stone and gives up the steal of 1, nearly 2, but thankfully just the steal of 1.
Diane threw that really well. It was just a matter of another inch or 2 that needed to hit on the inside, but she didn't give her sweepers any chance at that one.
And so we enter the 6th end. Team Wark up 4-2 over Team Gushulak. Gushulak with that hammer. Never has it been more valuable than right now as they attempt to erase a 2-point deficit. And leading things off for Team Wark is their lead, Michelle Dunn.
Sarah made a great point in her interview. She knows they are not safe. Team Gushulak knows how to come behind. They know how to manufacture points. So Sarah has to be very careful on not being complacent.
14-9. Good, Michelle.
They've gone back to placing that first one within the house. No guard this time, Corey.
That's right, Melissa. These two teams have met each other quite a few times this season, and they know that even though they have a slight lead, the Gushulak team is very capable of making some nice draws around some guards, and setting up a multiple point situation.
Mine's a bit tight. Let it work.
So with that aggressive play style setting up
Mine's fine.
the steal, do we see either team, or specifically do we see Team Gushulak trying to slow the pace down and try a few more takeouts, try to keep the house a little bit clearer, or do they just go for it from here on in?
They're going to keep probably the same game plan. It was just a matter of a couple missed shots. They need to try and generate their deuce here in 6. It's not the end of the world if they don't, if they blanket and go into 7. They don't want to settle for a single, though. It's the same game plan. Just try and get your rocks in a good position and try and manufacture a deuce.
Michelle Dunn's second shot. Michelle represented Team BC in 2013. Came away with a bronze medal.
Really hard, Kristen. Right up. You got it. Push hard. You can go forward. Go, 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 go. Really hard. Yep. Go, go, go. Really hard. Yep. Line's good. Go, 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 go. Push hard. Push hard. Push hard. Good speed.
I'll sweep this one shy of the house. A little off the center line. Does leave part of that rock exposed, but the guards are now in play.
I like this call by Diane Gushulak. Sometimes you'll see maybe younger teams or even junior teams, they'll go right for as soon as that guard is missed as much as it is, they'll go straight to the one in the back or they'll go right towards the center line. But you threw up the corner guard, you're trying to generate 2, so what a great idea. Let's use that corner guard and try and get one buried behind it.
That's right, Melissa. It's just not necessary to have to go after that back button red.
Yeah, come right back. Right back.
Make a nice come around on this one and set up that 2.
Go, go, go. You drew it good, Sandra. Almost the whole thing? Okay.
Updated shooting percentages after 5 ends for Team Wark. Generally speaking, they've done a little bit better. The team total still sits at exactly 78%. And while Michelle Dunn and Kristen Pilot have improved, Stephanie Prince has fallen to 60% on the day.
Yep. Hard! Really hard!
Meanwhile, slightly different situation here. And she will go right past. She will luckily catch the blue rock in the house. Oh, that was millimeters away from disaster.
Great brushing by the
Sweepers on Team Wark, sneaking by that guard and getting the blue one out of play.
Big smiles there and well earned. Just a little bit. Just a little bit there. You had a little bit of room to breathe in between it, I'm sure. She'll be happy with that.
I like backline.
And now Jessie Sanderson, who's improved on the day up to 83%. I'm sorry, she has gone down from 83% to 78%. Needed no doubt by that one really key miss a few ends ago.
So Corey, I'm not 100% sure I agree with this call. It's still early in the end. It's Second's first stone, or yes, first stone, and she's calling it to the center line, maybe even tapping that one off the back button.
That's right, Melissa. I would be tempted to keep the play away from that center. You can set up a freeze situation behind that corner guard based off of Stephanie Prince's shot there. Even just tap that corner one back behind the tee line and leave the angle good, but instead they decided to play around the center, and unfortunately a little bit heavy, rolling open and exposed for Team Wark.
No real consolation there with exposing the Wark rock. It's still mostly hidden by the guard as well. Stephanie Prince, her second stone. Hit. It will roll ever so slightly and land almost dead center to the button. Maybe I should criticize people's shooting percentages more often. It's certainly two excellent shots there from Stephanie Prince.
That's right, and I had identified earlier in this game that there was quite a big gap in terms of the round robin numbers between the 2 seconds of Jessie Sanderson and Stephanie Prince, but it looks like Stephanie Prince is bringing her A game for the second half, at least for the start of the second half so far.
And now it's up to her counterpart
Don't touch.
to match that result. The sweeper's being called right off of this one.
So I think Jessie's overthrown this one as well as the first one.
No freeze there, just runs it back and out.
She was hoping to get to the inside of that stone and try and flop behind that center guard. But just with that extra weight, it ran a bit straight, and now it's fully exposed for Team Wark.
Once again, for an initial mission of limit the damage to 1, Team Wark has put themselves in an excellent position to threaten another steal. Three ends of points in a row would be absolutely sensational for Sarah Wark and co.
Nope, that's okay. That's okay.
And there goes the blue stone. So what's the plan now here for Dan Gushulak?
So it looks like they're playing the hit and roll first, but you can see Diane there lining up the double opportunity.
9.
It would be great to get the double, Melissa, because then it would really open up your scoring area for the Gushulak team.
I agree, Corey. It's really important here, though, that you keep your shooter in play somewhere. And I think what she's trying to do is hit and roll towards the corner one and hopefully catch the back one on route. She's throwing a 9, so a little bit more weight than normal.
Chris McInnes has dropped from 88 to 70% in this game. She'll hit, she'll roll, she'll get more or less exactly what she wanted. Leaves shot rock and cleans out 2 red in the process.
Great result there from Grace.
Really nice shot, and most importantly, as Corey said, it opens up the scoring area so that there aren't so many rocks around the 4-foot area.
So only 1 red rock actually leaving play there, although the other 2 have been pushed back. Right off is the call. Christine Pilot's attempt.
This one has a lot of curling to do.
and it has a ton of weight.
And it's going to go straight through, running back their own rock off the back of the 12.
That was a huge mistake by Kristen, just way, way too much weight on that spot, and obviously a little bit wide as well. And not only misses the blue stone, but also removes one of her own.
From a dominant position in the house to suddenly giving your opponent a great chance to get that deuce. Sudden flip and turned on its ear, and Team Gushulak looks to take advantage.
Mine's good. It's really close.
Grace McInnes is going to look to put this one in a good spot. Don't need to go too deep. We talked about this early. You don't want to set up anything, any double opportunities, any hit and rolls. Line is crucial here.
Go, go, go. Go, guys, go. Line's great. Into the
Get around the guard, no
into the
problem.
eight
You hear them saying the line's great. Where can they place it?
Don't need to be deep here.
And it'll curl just to the 4, behind the guard. Team Gushulak lies 2 in a very good position.
And that really is just taking advantage of an error from Team Wark. A door has opened for a deuce opportunity for Team Gushulak, and now Sarah Wark's going to be looking for a hit and roll to the center off of this side blue.
Beautiful placement behind the guard there by Grace McInnes. Couldn't really ask for much better there.
That was just perfect. Absolutely perfect. So Sarah Wark is likely going to throw control weight here. She would love to hit this blue stone and roll it towards the center line, even maybe back 4, and might even get shot out of it.
The opportunity is there. See what the skip can do with this, her first rock of the 6th end. It's got decent weight. Quite a lot, actually. It's going to hit, it's going to roll. It's well past the back 4. Back 12 is more like it. Perhaps a little too over-exuberant there.
That's right, and it actually sets up a
Sandra was
potential
here.
3-score scenario if Diane can sink this one behind the corner guard, keep it even with the top 4 blue.
Right, we only have to half bury, right?
As we talked about coming back from break there, Team Gushulak, they know how to win after playing from behind. They're showing it now, taking advantage of just a little crack opening up for them, ready to force their way through the door and even this game up. Perhaps even more, like you say, Corey, there could be a 3 here.
It's your turn.
Diane puts this in a good place and maybe only shows a little piece to Sarah Wark. It's going to be difficult on Sarah to prevent it from happening. She's going to have to be aggressive on her last shot.
Just clean from the sweepers. Now they get on it. Log time 15:10, so it's a bit heavier than we're used to seeing.
It's gliding quite a bit as well.
It will sit, it will count. Large scoring area, we discussed it earlier. And Diane Gushulak takes advantage to sit 2.
Look how much that curled. Another foot past the guard. And if that was maybe 2 feet lighter, it would have been in a great position.
I just think this might be an easier shot. I think this.
A chance to limit the damage here.
It'll move here.
Okay. So Sarah's taken about maybe 12 to 14 inches more ice on this shot than Diane Gushulak did. And Diane was a little bit heavy, and we saw hers curl past there. So with this extra ice that Sarah's taking, it'll give an opportunity to the sweepers to manage that stone after the break point a little better.
That's right, and the priority for Sarah is just to keep that angle lined up to jam for that back blue if Diane were to attempt to remove it. So keep it above and about half buried should do the trick. And you're accepting giving up that deuce.
You never want to accept to give up a deuce, but I think she might not have a choice right now.
A choice between giving up a 2 or 3. 2 doesn't seem that bad. It's still bad.
Sarah is not light on this shot.
She is not. That's got quite a bit on it still.
Oh, she does not want to be heavy here. This is
going to go, and it's going to pass as well. And ooh, I think she's just too far. Could just be the angle, but that does look like 2 blue currently. So a chance for 3. If the measurement is in her favor for Diane Gushulak.
I agree with you, Arturo. I believe it's blue, so this is an open draw for 3 here in the 6th end. That's a big, big mistake by Sarah Wark.
What a swing after that steal of 1. Incredible response from Team Gushulak. Turn around, score 3, take the lead back.
Take it here more, Grace. It's not going to hurt.
That's right, and all it took was just exact placement of their draw shots, keeping them above the tee line and setting up that multiple point situation. A great come around by Grace to pretty much guarantee their deuce. And then now Diane has an opportunity to take advantage of Sarah Wark's miss on her last shot and score 3.
So she'll need to be lighter than 15-10, I believe was our last hog timing. Let's see what we get here. Sweepers are leaving it alone for the time being.
This one's running on the center a lot more than her first one.
Starting to come over now. It's got a ways to go yet. 15:05 hog time. This is heavier than before. If it hits the red, even better. But it will come to a nice stop. And it is 3 for Diane Gushulak at the end of the 6th. Retakes the lead. 5-4 over Team Wark as we head into the 7th end. That's coming up just after this. Don't go anywhere.
Browse the used.ca website to reveal hundreds of colorful items. Hit the button to buy, sell, and trade used goods with members of the local community. Styles for any curler. Search online at used.ca.
Curling! The game with the ice, and the rocks, and the sweeping, and the yelling. Each game starts with a handshake. Then, 2 teams of 4 people take turns throwing 44-pound stones down a sheet of ice. Each team throws 8 rocks, and the team closest to the center after all the rocks are thrown will score the points. This process is repeated for 6 to 10 rounds until one team is victorious. It's just that simple. Or is it?
I'm Melissa Saligo, Olympian and Crow BC provincial coach. Curling to me is different from other sports. There is fierce competition on the ice, but off the ice, you are part of a worldwide family that you will be a member of forever. Curl BC wants our curling family to grow and thrive. That's why we're asking your help in supporting the Curling for Life Endowment Fund, which was set up to support curling centers across the province. Visit curlbc.ca/fund to learn more.
Well, it required some excellent placement, and because of that, Diane Gushulak will score 3. Excellent move there by Stephanie Prince. Just by that much, just a little bit, but ultimately was not enough. As Grace McInnes put a perfectly placed shot behind the guard, you can see in the center of your screen there. Unfortunately, not able to prevent the 3 was the stone from Sarah Wark.
That's right. She didn't throw it in the tolerance range to leave it in the top of the house, if anything. Second shot, and leaving the door open for Diane to throw the same shot she threw on her first to score a 3 spot.
That was the key, making the most out of your misses by making most of your opportunities and your misses by your opposition, and that's exactly what Team Gushulak did.
And to open things off in the 7th end, already seen a guard put out by Team Gushulak. Sandra Comandino with that, and responding Michelle Dunn puts one in the 12. So once again, rocks in play. Makes for quite the spectacle, and I do enjoy it.
Sandra's guard is just a little off center, so
Really full.
Michelle Dunn was able to throw the out turn, come around, almost fully buried. So Diane's going to stay with the in turn or Sandra's out turn as she's left-handed and really try and get it in a good position. Covering off that forefoot right now.
And there is the second guard stone. Another draw called here.
Spiking 8's great.
To the 8 says Sarah Wark. Sit 2 behind the guards. Oh, I'm sure she'd be just thrilled with that.
Where is it? Okay. 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 Oh.
To come over.
I heard a 9, and that's probably about back 8, back 12 weight.
Oh.
And it just picked.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
They got a break there. It
wow.
picked and rolled quite a bit. Not a bad plan B, all things considered.
Definitely.
They will take it. The ice helping out teamwork there. Well placed, almost right behind the second guard. I'm sure just like they drew it up.
Yeah, we gotta follow it. Well, follow that, it picked.
I was going to say, I'm not sure you could follow it.
Good luck.
It would be great. Top 4 is fine too.
Just find that exact same spot on the ice, pick around that, and you'll be fine. Slightly more conventional method going to be taken here by Jessie Sanderson.
Line's great. Oh, not yet. Let it work. Let it work.
So we didn't see the
Opposite.
very first rock of this end, and if indeed that Diane called it short, I'd be surprised if she didn't call it in the rings from the very first one. But this is a miss from Jessie now. So we see the momentum keep swinging here in this game from last end when Team Wark was struggling a little bit and Team Gushulak jumping all over them, to absolutely the opposite story here in the 7th end.
That's interesting, Melissa. Very uncharacteristic miss there from Jessie Sanderson. In fact, all week she posted a +6 in the plus and minus range, which means she out-curled her opposition second 6 times by at least 5% in each of those 6 times. So she was a very dominant performance. And unfortunately, we haven't been seeing that same performance here today.
Best performance during the round robin, 88%, best among all seconds. Next closest competitor was Stephanie Jackson-Bear at 78. A wide gulf there. And unfortunately, doesn't mean a heck of a lot when you're throwing them right through the house. And now it's 2 in the forefoot and a 3rd in the house for Team Wark. And all fairly well guarded.
So Corey, I'm not 100% sure what Diane's plan is for this end. They are up 1 without hammer in the 7th end with a few rings still to go, but there's a lot of red rocks building up in those rings right now.
That's a great point, Melissa. It's a little bit dicey when you're winning the game by 1 at least, and you're leaving 3 opposition stones in the rings, especially when it's this early in the end. They can choose to play a run back, and there's lots of area to make contact on one of those red stones to limit the damage. But one good freeze attempt here can take it all away.
They will get around the guard. They're trying to sweep it there. Does it have enough? No, it'll be short by a considerable amount. They'll just bite the 4 above the center, or above the tee line, excuse me. So they have a little bit of safety, but it is still not best case scenario for Team Gushulak. Suddenly that run back looks like a really, really good option for them. So if you're Team Wark, do you anticipate that coming and try to play against it, or what is the call here from Sarah Wark?
It looks like Sarah, they are sitting 2, but she's going to remove that tight guard that is protecting all of those stones. She could also decide to put her foot on the gas pedal and just keep going for it, but she doesn't have any scoring area available to her anymore. And if she's trying to get at least 2, if not 3, this is a good call. However, this does expose the rocks in the forefoot for Team Gushulak.
That's right. Despite Team Wark already sitting 2, that blue stone at the top of the forefoot is actually in a great position for Team Gushulak. So by peeling this guard, it makes Team Gushulak think, are we going to try to make a move on those reds or get a second one in there, like she is notioned to do so?
You could nose the 6 too. You want to call time? Yeah.
And timeout is called by Team Gushulak. They want to think this one over.
This is a good call. I really think they need to bring their coach out here to have a conversation about what best to do in this position.
Neil Houston, the coach of Team Gushulak.
It's a really lonely looking blue rock. We need another rock in, or we run that double.
And there are options available here. We'll have to listen in and see what they decide.
I don't really care re-rolls as long as those 2 reds, like straight back double.
I think if we do an internet, I can double.
You might. The rolls bonus. Getting those 2 out would be sweet. Because this is a mess.
Honest analysis there from Dan Gushulak.
A mess.
Well, that's why I was saying, like a control weight hit, come across the face, jam it on the shot line, trying to get your shooter
behind.
A little bit behind, yeah.
Don't worry so much about that.
But if you get you want to get one of the back ones.
Yeah, if not both.
Wait, you could tap it too. You could tap that one back 2 feet.
I kind of like the controller too.
Yeah, the only thing I'm worried about the tap is if you don't,
Yep.
you line them up and there's some double that they can get out of it.
Yeah. So we kind of wait for
Oh, 10 at them.
I think that's good.
Yeah.
If you know it's not bad, right?
Yeah.
If you flip the shot, the blue one in front of their other second.
Well, if you nose it, the back one should roll in behind.
Yeah.
If you nose it. Yeah.
And the decision has been made. Corey, your first thoughts?
I like the run back double attempt because naturally your shooter's going to want to roll behind that red guard on the right side.
Now, Melissa, on the flip side, what's the degree of difficulty here? If this goes sideways, how badly could this go for Team Gushulak?
Well, if she hits this high side, she's in deep trouble because she'll not only peel her own out, she'll lose her shooter, and then completely exposes Team Wark to some great opportunities here. So really need to get to the nose of the shot or even on the inside.
Get inside, there's 2. 1 will leave the house, the second's back to the 12. And Gushulak sits 2. A little bit to the inside, like you said, Melissa, and there's the double.
That was an incredible shot by Grace McInnes.
It's 2 ends in a row now. Grace has come up big for her team. Last time it set up a 3.
Yep, really hard. Really
saved
hard
for her team this time.
Gotta go the whole way. Push hard, girls. Push hard, girls.
So this
you got
one's
it. Push
tight,
hard.
right out of
go,
her
go,
hand.
Go.
Sarah
really
called on the
hard.
sweep.
Push hard. Go. Michelle, you gotta roll. Roll, Michelle.
It's
Roll,
going to
Michelle.
connect here. What's the plan B? Just to peel the guard away, it looks like. Expose the house, try and cause some damage. And the shooter will just stick around, but outside the house.
So there's still some red ones sitting around there that Diane's probably not overly comfortable with.
Yeah, I like that. Come over the nose a bit.
I think that's a good call.
10.
Right, Corey, just trying to get rid of that red stone, and you don't have access to the one at the back, obviously. But leaving those 2 red stones, I'm not sure that would be the best plan.
That's right, Melissa. Let's remember they're actually winning this game still, despite how this end is sort of played out at the beginning. They're winning 5-4. You know, eliminate the reds as you can with the potential to sit 3, and there's a high possibility of forcing Team Wark to 1.
Yep. Hard.
Sweeper's working this one hard.
Hard.
It's got more than a little work to do. Get the hit, they'll clear it, and the shooter will stick around to lie 3. Let's take a look at that again.
Great brushing. Grace might have been a tiny bit tight here, but the key is they got rid of the red stone and they also retained their shooter. They do leave a slight kind of little pocket there if Sarah Wark and her team get the hit and roll towards those other 2 blues.
Really hard the whole way. Gotta go.
That may very well be what they're looking at here.
Gotta go.
Already going hard.
This one's curling early as well.
It's almost a nose hit, and they take their own out at the back as well.
What a turnaround. 2 perfectly executed shots by Grace McInnes, and all of a sudden Team Wark is on the ropes after a couple half shots on Team Wark's side.
That's exactly right. It's amazing. Diane was in a lot of trouble here without the hammer, and complete turnaround this end.
No, 10. That's a lot of ice. A little less.
So we might be in a similar situation that we saw in the 5th end. It might not just be limit the damage to 1. It might be how much can we steal here and really pad that lead.
Right now, there isn't much room to create a skips deuce here for Sarah Wark, depending on where this one rolls of Diane's. I think she's trying to hit it and roll towards the blue one that's sort of sitting on the tee line. Offer a little protection on that rock.
Outside. Rolls the wrong way. Does split the house somewhat, but not the direction she wanted that to go. Let's take a look at that.
So Diane tightened up her ice right at the end there, and it looks like it over curled, and an unfortunate jam. Blue is sitting 1 for sure. It might even be sitting 2, but big miss there by Diane Gushulak.
It's funny, that rock in the back of the rings has really been a kicker all end.
It has.
And there's a potential they could bring it into play. A couple of jams on that back 12-foot all of a sudden.
Even if she only gets her single here, considering where she was but a few shots ago, I think Sarah Wark will be happy to get out of this with the score tied.
I think you're right.
Let's see what she does with her first rock here.
Really hard, guys. Really hard.
There's the hit, there's the roll.
That's the 4th rock in a row that we've seen over curl in that spot. I'm not sure if they're just not taking enough ice, or maybe not throwing the weight that they're putting the broom down for, Corey.
Yeah, that definitely could be the case, Melissa. That one wasn't really close. It could be the broom position, but it would have been a good shot to stick around there.
Now, at some point, does this start to play on the minds of the shooters? Do you start giving yourself too much broom now as you head into the later ends?
Well, that's a good point. You have to make sure that you know where to put the broom every single time that you go to throw. And with those over curls, there'll be some concern coming in the 9th end, 2 ends later.
So really comfortable situation here for Team Gushulak with the potential to lie 3. And it looks like they're going to do just that.
And the back rock continues to cause some consternation. And 3 for Diane Gushulak. Just a draw waiting here for Sarah Wark to get her one.
We saw Sarah draw against a couple and put it right on the lid in the 4th end, so the speed should not have changed since then.
Still the same.
We need a piece of the 4. Let's make it nice.
It's the final rock on the 7th end. What's Sarah Wark do here? A lot of damage control to do. Did she get that draw? Certainly less weight than before. But it's still not enough.
Be careful.
Just careful, they say. Log time 15:09. We saw that be good enough for Dang's last end. And it will indeed come to rest.
Right on the lid again.
There it is. It'll be 1 for Team Wark. All tied up at 5. Still anybody's game. Hammer goes to Team Gushulak. The 8th end coming up next.
Whoa.
If I had a birthday wish for Canada, it would be for us to continue to stay active, to eat right, and to give back to our communities.
My birthday wish for Canada in the next 150 years would be to eliminate child abuse in this country.
My birthday wish for Canada is that youth grow up in a safe place, they grow up with hope, and they grow into be the leaders of tomorrow.
Canada, my big birthday wish for you is that we're going to see no snow in the month of July.
Hey, Canada, happy 150th.
Happy birthday, Canada, from Akeem Haynes. I brought home a medal for you guys from Rio, but for now I'm going to hang on to it.
Happy birthday, Canada.
Hey, Canada, happy 150th.
Happy birthday, Canada, eh?
Happy 150th birthday, Canada.
To Canadians everywhere, happy birthday.
Hey, Canada, happy 150th birthday.
The savior for Team Gushulak in the last end. Here's one of the reasons why.
What a tremendous shot by Grace. Gets the double, almost the full double, hits and rolls behind, and really puts the pressure back on Team Wark.
And then to finish it off, skip. And Gushulak sets up the 3, forcing Sarah Wark into taking the single. All tied at 5. And so now with the hammer, Team Gushulak, chance to build, having really done well to, we talk about limiting the damage, again, almost forcing that steal. I feel good about this now with the hammer in their possession.
That's right, Team Gushulak's in a really comfortable position late in this game now, tied with the hammer in the 8th end. Even if you get forced to 1, you're going to be in a comfortable position with only 2 ends left to go in this game. So if you can push the envelope to try to score a 2, you're going to be have great chances to win this game. But even if you take your 1, that's a pretty good result too.
Corner guard a bit wide there, a bit to the outside, but I think they'll be too unhappy with it.
Team Gushulak, they aren't going to take a ton of chances here. As Corey was alluding to, they would love to get their deuce, but they want to play it fairly safe. They want to push the envelope early in the end, and then they'll reassess and see if they have an opportunity to keep going for their deuce.
Really, really hard, Kristen. Push hard. Push hard. Go, 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 go. Okay. 17-6.
High guard by the center line. Part of 1 red rock in the house. for a matter of moments anyway.
I think Sanders being called upon to throw the come around guard on the guard that she just threw.
Lots of room.
They're ignoring that red stone.
A bit better.
That's
Drag
on
it
the
back.
center line.
Yep. Keep it coming. Go, go, go. There, just take a big curl. Yep.
Let it
Yep.
curl.
Go. Nice
Get
throw.
to the T line. Sit in 12.
I see advantages and disadvantages of that call, Corey. I understand why she wanted to do that, but there's actually not just one, but 2 red stones right now near the center line that are problematic for Team Gushulak. Great shot, throwing the come around and making it perfect, but right now Sarah Wark is saying, okay, thank you. I'm going to throw the tap here and try and get one into the 4-foot and try and steal here an 8.
That's right, Melissa, and I think she actually notioned to throw a tight guard instead of tapping it closer to the 4-foot. Maybe Diane's thought process was that if that red stone was in the 4-foot area, she would want to remove it, but because it's still high in the rings, there's lots of area, scoring area, she's going to ignore it, come around the center guard.
And a second guard for Team Wark. Trying to build up some defense for the one scoring stone they have so far.
Pretty skinny.
I imagine that that will not be allowed to stand.
Diane's just trying to figure out the best way to preferably double peel these. They're pretty close together. Got to hit it very thin.
No touch.
Got to hit one.
She just barely does. And the struggle continues for Jessie Sanderson.
Oh, that was skinny.
She knows.
Yeah.
She is very, very fortunate to have gotten one there. Inadvertently created 3 nice hiding spots there for any future draws.
We've seen a couple of uncharacteristic misses from Jessie in the last few ends here. She's going to need to tighten up the belt here and really focus on making some good shots.
Okay, that's okay. Yep, now go, Kristen. Hard, Kristen.
Through 7 ends, her percentage is absolutely crater. Jessie Sanderson, who again, through the round robin, 88%. Through 5 ends, use it 78. Through 7 ends, 68%. The numbers keep going in the wrong direction for Jessie Sanderson.
Try running it in, but straight peel's fine.
That's right, and we don't see this from Jessie virtually ever. She's a very consistent player, always has been. But you never know. She's got a couple ends left to dial it in and give her team the best chance.
She got here, there goes one. Nearly gets the double out of it. But she will move over and the shooter will freeze to the existing guard. So at least the red stones are exposed.
They were trying to run that redstone into the pile of the 2 in the top 12. I'm actually surprised, Corey, that they didn't throw the intern at it. They almost hit their own blue one back in the side 12-foot.
That's right, Melissa. It would have been good to rearrange that angled situation at the top of those reds, because the way it is now, there's a potential if you attempt the double, it could jam into your side blue, redirect and jam into that side blue.
Don't jump it, careful, careful.
Kristen Piloth here throwing for Team Wark. Seen her shooting percentage plummet after 7 ends as well, from 80 before down to 70. As her struggles in this game continue.
Yep, hard, really hard. Go. Good.
The guard is retained.
18-4.
As overall, Team Wark has improved their team average. Has the opposite of improved, made their team average worse, going down to 75.
Wait, this one?
Though to be fair, Team Gushulak has also dropped from an 81 to 80. At That said, Grace McInnes has improved. Those fantastic shots brought her up to an 82.
I was about to say, I'm sure Grace has really,
really
improved
skinny.
in the stats there after some pistols in the last previous ends.
What does she have here to add to that?
Had a little conversation here. Grace really wanted to go for the one in the rings, but Diane knows that this is the problem stone. This is the one they need to
There's
get
the
rid
run
of.
back.
And that's exactly what Corey was talking about. Because of the angle of those red stones, it jams on their blue stone and removes it from play.
Fighting top 4. I guess you
Really
can see a good
unfortunate,
jump, okay? Let's go
but
this way
predicted by Corey Chester.
It would have been nice to have a teleprompter and show that one a little bit earlier, as I had foreseen it happening. But no, a little bit of an unfortunate result there from Grace, especially leaving that shooter up high in that center guard area doesn't help them in order to score multiple points from here on.
There it goes, Michelle. Stay on the inside.
Teamwork can sink
Michelle.
one
No,
around
no,
the center
no,
here.
just clean. Just clean. Ready? Okay, yep, go then. Yep, go then.
Teamwork in a great position here,
Steph.
either to steal or definitely to force Team Gushulak to a single.
And good shot there by Kristen.
Some appreciation from the crowd here at the Glen Harper Curling Center in Duncan. They've been treated to quite the match.
yeah.
This 3-4 playoff has brought out some incredible curling from both teams.
I really like how they kept it just in that full
really long.
8-foot area
Try
in the
it.
top of the house.
What turn?
Because the
What
guard
turn you
is so
want?
high and the ice has been so fantastic all week, you can
Throw a 9.
virtually throw just a back line weight and get to the nose of that red if it was any deeper.
Are you surprised that they're throwing the run back here, Corey?
It is a low percentage shot for sure. But the way Grace has been throwing them in the last few ends,
She'll get it.
it's a nice shot.
The shooter won't stick around, though. Or it will just stay at the top of the 12. Will miss the other red stone, though. Won't stick around for shot rock, but it will clean that red one out of the house.
I really like what you were talking about, Corey. Like, this is a run back, low percentage shot. If she throws the backline weight, she not only can remove that one that was sitting in the top 8 foot, but she could have rolled to the side and closer to those other rocks. So not 100% agreeable with that call, but it does give Teamwork now another opportunity to bury one behind that center guard.
Wait, it's the same, right?
Skips Sarah Wark. Has improved her own shooting percentage to 90.
If Sarah makes a good one here, lots of pressure going to be put on Diane Gushulak to somehow manufacture a single here in the 8th end.
Fighting 8. You can go. Line's good. You can switch. No, you're good. You're good. Go, Michelle. Hard, Michelle. Hard, Michelle. You gotta bite 8. Hard. Gotta bite 8. Line's great. Gotta go hard. Whoa, if you can. Whoa, if you can. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa.
There it is in the 8.
Might have peeked out the other side a little bit. Great weight by Sarah Wark.
Gotta get around that one too, right?
You hear them calling to the sweepers just to make sure it gets there. And a little bit of work to do.
We gotta get around that. Yeah.
And now the response from Diane Gushulak.
So Diane knows she's in a little bit of trouble here. Red is sitting 2, maybe even 3. So she has to go on the offense. She's going to follow Sarah down through the out turn and come around. She needs to get around with the high guard and around the one just thrown by Sarah Wark in the top 8 and completely bury it. Line is crucial here.
Easy then. Easy. Go on,
7 is T-line weight, so it's close on her own.
Let it work. Close, yep.
Let's come over, though.
It's going to be really close. Hot.
You hear them saying it's going to be close. Yes, it will.
Roof, yep. Yes!
And she'll get around and sit it
What
in
a
the
shot.
4.
What a pressure shot by Diane Gushulak. Fabulous.
And what I noticed on that one, Melissa, was just really great sweeping by the front end, decision making to wait as long as possible until the very end, until the line was close and they had to go to get it by, but delay that sweep as long as possible, knowing the weight was there to begin with.
Yes, I totally agree. I would just maybe add from a coaching perspective having a broom down and close to go when it was time, but great shot, great brush, great result.
And that shot made possible just by the fantastic ice conditions that we've had all week, thanks to head ice tech Dane Gagnon and the Glen Harper Curling Center head ice tech Nolan Reed.
Close. Whoa.
They need to get around this. Are they going to do it? No, they will wick off the guard. Nearly hits the second. It will. I don't know if that's even biting the 12, even if we're being generous.
That was so close. She wanted to throw back line to hack weight. Because that guard is so high, it really is irrelevant. But unfortunately for Sarah, it took off on them. They were on and off it halfway, and it just jumped and unfortunately didn't get through. So difficult draw here for Diane Gushulak to get a second point.
Is it?
She's got her 1. That's in the bank as long as
You guys
nothing
same
crazy
ice,
happens
so we
here.
can get through
Chance
there?
for that manufactured deuce.
You know what's going to
But I
curl
just
here,
don't want
so
it to catch that run that we saw the other day.
That's right, and I suspect
No.
she's going to be very close on this one. It's the
You guys
same
think
shot
that's-
she just threw.
Okay, same way.
So the sweepers will have a really good idea in terms of judging it into the house.
Final rock, 8th end. And Gushulak with the hammer. Already lying 1, looking for 2.
You're okay. It's fine. Yep. Off then. You'll be on this one. Whoa, if you can.
14.95, hog to hog.
Yep. No, I don't want to. Okay, then don't.
It's
Good
gonna be there.
communication.
It's there. Plenty of room to spare. 2 for Diane Gushulak. We head into the next end with Team Gushulak up 7-5 over Team Wark. You're watching Provincial Curling Championships here on Shaw TV Sports. Don't go anywhere. 9th end's coming up.
Curling, the game with the ice and the rocks and the sweeping and the yelling. Each game starts with a handshake. Then, 2 teams of 4 people take turns throwing 44-pound stones down a sheet of ice. Each team throws 8 rocks, and the team closest to the center after all the rocks are thrown will score the points. This process is repeated for 6 to 10 rounds until one team is victorious. It's just that simple. Or is it?
I'm Melissa Saligo, Olympian and Crow BC provincial coach. Curling to me is different from other sports. There is fierce competition on the ice, but off the ice, you are part of a worldwide family that you will be a member of forever. Curl BC wants our curling family to grow and thrive. That's why we're asking your help in supporting the Curling for Life Endowment Fund, which was set up to support curling centers across the province. Visit curlbc.ca/fund to learn more.
Browse the used.ca website to reveal hundreds of colorful items. Hit the button to buy, sell, and trade used goods with members of the local community. Styles for any curler. Search online at used.ca.
highlights from that end. The little wick off the guard opened things up, Melissa.
Good body language by Jessie there, trying to get the double. Unfortunately, was lucky enough to actually move one. But big shot here for Sarah Wark. She had the pressure on Team Gushulak the entire end, but on her last one, it overcurled. She was trying to throw hack weight, would get past that guard and bump up her red one. Unfortunately, no go for her, and an open draw for 2 for Team Gushulak, and no mistake.
So as we hit the 9th end, possibly the penultimate end, Team Wark with the hammer down by 2. Already one blue rock in the 12 from Team Gushulak, and the response from Team Wark.
You guarantee Sarah's going to throw a corner guard here. She wants to manufacture that deuce in the 9th. She's not going to want to settle for 1 here for sure. She knows whether she gets a deuce now or a deuce in the 10th. If they were to blank this end, that she's going to have to steal eventually, so why not try and go for it more in the 9th here.
If it'll go through.
Fortune favors the bold, as the saying goes, and no better time to be bold than right now for Sarah Wark.
Key for Team Gushulak is to ensure they're not putting any rocks behind that tee line. That can only favor Team Wark.
And so far, they are following your instructions to a T, Melissa. 1 on the 4, 1 top the 12.
So Corey, we see some teams doing a couple of different things here. They can throw board weight, which Team Wark has elected to do, hit and roll behind the corner, but we know how elusive those hit and rolls have been. The other option is to throw just a back 8, back 12, and try and move things around and out into the back of the rings.
That's right, Melissa. There's definitely a lot greater chance you're going to stick your shooter around by lowering that weight. I think whatever the result is here, you're going to see Diane go up and rip that corner guard regardless.
Definitely.
Within millimeters of a double there. Unfortunately, gets the 1 run back. Does Michelle Dunn. Does not get the double.
Yep.
She probably would have liked there.
Hard. Really hard.
No subtlety here from Jessie Sanderson. Hits it, rolls, and there you are.
That's actually a bit of a mistake, another mistake by Jessie Sanderson. She really wanted the straight peel. They don't want any rocks out front, and that can only, again, benefit Team Wark.
It's a phrase I'm sure for fans of Team Gushulak we've been saying a little bit too often in the back half of this game. Slight mistake by Jessie Sanderson.
Really hard! Really hard!
She still has 1 more rock for this end to make amends, and then 2 more in the 10th, possibly beyond. Meanwhile, hit and roll there, and that one will go out of play.
Miscall there by Sarah Wark. I don't think she knew how much weight that had, and she called them on early, and unfortunately, it hit rolled out for Stephanie Prince.
It just seemed like a little bit of a panic there at the beginning, unnecessary panic. So here's an opportunity for Jessie to clean it up. Not important to stick the shooter here, just to make contact with that other red.
Unfortunately, she won't do that.
Number 1 job there for sure, Rotoro, was to peel. Would have been nice to catch that red one.
The peel was certainly never in doubt, though the angle for hitting the red as well, she would have been a fine cherry on the cake there.
7's great. 7's great. Even 8's okay.
So now with just the 1 red rock in play, it'll be Stephanie Prince.
So Sarah Wark asking Stephanie to split the rings, keep these 2 red rocks as far apart as possible. Don't want to create any kind of double for Team Gushulak.
She will sit that one. Edge of the 12. A decent amount of distance there. And now for Grace McInnes to follow up.
Yep. Hard! Really hard!
Keeper's working it. Oh, and she's gone right through. Well, that was a...
8 is even.
I'm going to go with a little bit uncharacteristic from Grace McInnes as well.
Very unexpected. I'm not exactly sure what happened. I know they swept it pretty much the entire way and complete air ball.
I couldn't see anybody there. Maybe it wicked something, but it looked like that was just a straight throw.
Wow, that's a big, big miss for Grace McInnes.
And suddenly Team Wark, they needed an opening to pick up the 2 that they're down by. And there it is in big neon letters.
My broom's even.
Chance is here now. Kristen Pilote.
So again, the goal here is just to keep these red stones as far apart as possible. There likely could be a double opportunity somewhere down the line, but do whatever they can to keep them apart, but preferably in the rings.
The apart part is certainly there, but that one will be shy of the house.
We'll have to watch this shot of Grace. She's throwing the exact same shot, and we'll just watch her release. Looks like she has a strong release, lots of rotation,
Easy,
so
whoa,
this
whoa.
rock should run fairly straight. Again, not sure what happened on that last one.
Sweeper's called right off. And she will hit this one. Shooter is gone, but so is the rock. That's one side of the house clear. And now Team Wark will just continue applying the pressure. Important to remember that they are only lying 1. That second red rock in play did not make it to the house.
Where? Okay,
So Melissa, I think the way this end is shaped up, Diane Gushulak's going to be relatively happy if she gives up only a deuce heading into this last end.
Not yet, if you can wait. Yeah, go.
Because she's, tie game with the hammer. There's a lot of potential to score your 1 in this game. So
push hard,
if she can prevent bringing that top red into play through just sticking around in the rings, which won't allow Team Wark to play a split shot, she'll be pretty happy with just giving up a deuce here.
That's a great point, Corey. You have to keep your shooter in play. You have to make Sarah Wark have to shoot at your shot stone. Otherwise, as you say, there could be the potential for that split because that rock is so close.
And the shots are coming fast and furious now. Under 6 minutes for the Team Gushulak clock. They should be able to get out of this game under time, but never want to leave that to chance. First stone for Diane Gushulak. 9th end, up by 2, facing a fully occupied red house. Will she knock on the door here?
This is similar to the shot Diane threw a few innings ago, going this way, and it ran straight on her. Again,
the hit, she'll get the roll.
Good shot. All she wants to do is ensure that she stays in the rings and make Sarah shoot at it. As Corey mentioned, very happy to give up the deuce here in 9.
Best case scenario, I'm sure she'd like a little bit less roll on that, but just keeping the shooter priority number 1 for sure. And now for Sarah Wark.
Yeah, as far out as we can go with it.
See if she can secure that deuce. Absolute razor-thin finish if we head to the 10th, all tied at 7. That's going to be quite a fun sprint.
Good comment by Sarah Wark. You see that center line rock that's just touching the top 12, and you think that you might want to hit and roll behind it, but you don't. Because it's touching the rings, you want to hit and roll away again, separating your stones as far apart as possible.
What's interesting, though, is if Sarah were to nose or get a little bit of an inside roll, it would force Diane to play the double and not to be in the rings.
She'll clear the guard. She'll get the nose.
closed it, and nose back will give up the deuce.
No more. Is that? Yeah, I think so. No more.
Now with that guard still in position, if you're Dan Gushulak, do you try to push that guard back and go for a double, or is the angle just not there for that?
You'd never ever attempt that at this point because, as we pointed out, a deuce here is great. You want hammer coming home tied. That's a good position to be in. If you try that double and you miss, the potential of giving up a 3 is just too great.
Risk management certainly the order of the day here. And with her final rock of the 9th end, can Diane Gushulak mitigate the damage?
Really wants a sticker shooter here.
You're okay.
It sounds like it's going to be good.
There it is. It's gonna need to stop right about now, and it will. It is, however, it is shot rock right now. So that will force Sarah Wark to actually play it, and she goes for 2.
Okay, 10.
Now with this shot being all the way out in the wings, Corey, the ice here has been a little bit tricky,
Stay close.
as we've seen over the course of this game for sure.
That's right. It could be a little bit of fresh pebble out this wide, out in the weeds, so to speak. But as long as they keep the brooms down and anticipate if it were to take a sudden jump. But like I said, Team Gushulak is pretty happy just to give up the deuce in this situation, and Team Wark likewise is happy to score that deuce.
Clean it. Clean it.
I can think of a few situations where you'd be sad to score 2 points.
Hard,
That's right.
hard, hard,
The way the end was shaping up at the beginning.
There's the hit. There's the stick. That will be the 2. So it's all even. 7-7. Wark, Gushulak, the 10th end. What could be the final end, or who knows, maybe extra ends. Who knows? We'll find out after this break. Don't go anywhere. You won't want to miss this.
I'm Melissa Saligo, Olympian and Crow BC provincial coach. Curling to me is different from other sports. There is fierce competition on the ice, but off the ice, you are part of a worldwide family that you will be a member of forever. Curl BC wants our curling family to grow and thrive. That's why we're asking your help in supporting the Curling for Life Endowment Fund, which was set up to support curling centers across the province. Visit curlbc.ca/fund to learn more.
Browse the used.ca website to reveal hundreds of colorful items. Hit the button to buy, sell, and trade used goods with members of the local community. Styles for any curler. Search online at used.ca.
Curling! The game with the ice, and the rocks, and the sweeping, and the yelling. Each game starts with a handshake. Then, 2 teams of 4 people take turns throwing 44-pound stones down a sheet of ice. Each team throws 8 rocks, and the team closest to the center after all the rocks are thrown will score the points. This process is repeated for 6 to 10 rounds until one team is victorious. It's just that simple. Or is it?
Well, if you were looking for good curling, look no further than the way this game has shaped up over 9 ends. Here we see the conclusion of it and setting up just a doozy of a 10th.
Some great shots for Diane Gushulak was key here. Even though it's not very fun to give up a deuce, it was important that she stuck her shooter on her last one, and it was okay to give up that deuce, so she retains hammer for the 10th and final end.
And there we see Sarah Wark finishing things off, getting her 2. And now we begin. We begin what will be a very tense delivery of 16 rocks.
Hard, hard, push hard. Drag
First
it,
guard
drag
coming
it,
down.
Drag it, drag it, drag it, drag it, drag
So
it.
Sarah Wark is
Okay,
obviously going to go hard for the steal. She wants guards out front. And some teams would go for the tick here, and I've noticed Team Gushulak throughout the course of this week hasn't played a lot of ticks, so Diane Gushulak with a little bit different tactics here is actually going to draw around that center guard just thrown by Team Wark.
Have they got that curl accounted for? We've seen it go on them when they haven't got that weight just right. The last thing they want to do is brush up against that guard right now.
6 would be better.
And they will slide past. And they will put that just past the tee line. So on the game clock right now, just a little under 4.5 minutes left for Team Gushulak to play out. A little over 7 minutes. Team Wark, so they have a slight advantage being able to slow things down a little, think these shots over. So a little extra time to think things over can be all the difference here, Corey.
That's right, and there's actually, that's quite a bit of time to have 4.5 minutes to play one end, especially when you have a few timeouts to use as well. So it should not be a factor at all in this last end.
So we saw that rock of Sandra Comedina slip to the back button, not the place that she wants to be. It's not the greatest spot for it, so Diane Gushulak, however, is ignoring those two guards, not going to try the tick, and asking Sandra to throw another one, but this one definitely she wants in the above the tee line.
How high does she want this? 8, even up to the 12?
I think top 4 would be ideal here for her. Because then it's going to put the pressure back on Sarah Wark to try and put a rock in a better place than those two.
Line's great.
Through 9 ends. Final updates to the shooting percentages. Team Gushulak averaging 79, Team Wark 75. And here we see it's about right smack in the middle of the 8. For Team Gushulak, Sandra Comandina, 92% over this game. She'll be very happy with that performance.
Definitely.
For Skip, Diane Gushulak at 85 on the other end of the ice. Michelle Dunn, 85. Stephanie Prince, 67. We knew Stephanie had some difficulties shooting this weekend, but that is 5 points above her average for round robin, so
Really hard,
progress.
girls, all the way, push hard. You can do it, go, 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 go. Go, 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 go. Really hard, you gotta push. You gotta push, you're gonna roll off this guard. Hard on the roll, really hard. Both roll, both roll, both roll, both roll.
There's another plan B situation for you there, Melissa. They know they're going to hit the guard, so make the most out of it.
That's right, and for sure, it's not the end of the world. The last thing she wanted to do was be heavy, so that's okay. There's another guard outplay that Diane's going to have to deal with.
Hang on, Jen.
2 blue stones in the house, 3 red guards in front of them. And time for Jessie Sanderson. Find that form. If there's ever time to find it, now would be it. She gets 1, she gets 2. The guard lets you roll back into the center line. So she does clear 1 guard out in the end.
It's not favorable, although Jessie did remove one of them. There's I mean, it looks like blue's in a good position right now, but they're not. With that rocket sitting at the back button, that would be making me very nervous.
Perhaps sensing that looks like the call Sarah Wark is making.
Okay. Looks a little high. Okay, Grace.
Good analysis there. Just a little bit.
We're nowhere close. Don't touch it at all.
This
Don't
rock
even
is
look
not
at it.
light.
Okay,
it's definitely
Steph.
not going to help them behind the tee line.
And it's going to go past blue stone on the 4. A little too much mustard on that. See now a little safety net behind them, Team Gushulak. Must be feeling a little bit better about their position now.
So if Jessie can make contact with both of these guards, sending that back red into the rings, hopefully it'll generate enough spin to break open that center of the house.
Let's find out. Sweepers have been working this since it left her fingers. 1, 2. Both guards will peel out, leaving behind the shooter.
definitely wanted to try and hit that one on the outside, and unfortunately for Jesse, it over-curled. Looks good, got rid of both red stones, but leaves that shooter, which is a very prime center guard for Team Wark.
On the positive, it's at least a blue stone now for Team Gushulak to run in there, and we've seen a couple runbacks from Grace McInnes so far in this game.
Where?
This is a big shot for Kristen Elot. She doesn't want to be heavy. She wants to put this in a good position and give her team a chance here to set up the steal.
Really hard line. Really,
Does not
really
want to
hard
hit
line.
that
Go,
guard
go,
though. You can
push
hear them
hard.
calling for line.
Really hard,
This is
girl.
going to need some help.
Really hard, right up, push hard. Go, 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 go. Really
It's
hard.
round
Whoa,
one.
whoa, 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 whoa. No bump, no
Can
bump,
she
no
get
bump.
around two? No.
Great call by Sarah Wark there, though. She knew that it was curling too much, so instead of hitting that top rock and rolling off and spinning off where it would have been an open, she called them off, and now it's sort of corner frozen to that blue stone that she can probably use here in another rock or two.
Grace McInnes now.
Whoa. Clean.
Plenty of weight here.
Easy, clean. If we would have gotten around that one. Easy. Nice throw.
Take no chances and just remove that guard entirely.
Top, Grace.
Looks like a timeout has been called. Does Team Wark think about what to do here?
I just want to see what you guys think too, because we've got a couple options now.
Consulting with the troops there.
I think we move the top too.
Coach Droptire going to come out and have a conversation with the team.
Yeah, I think we can jiggle the top too.
That's exactly what I was going to say. What
So
if you
like,
came in this way?
like hack?
Well, I'm even looking at it. All you got to do is split it apart.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you come in with back eight, you're going to bump out and over. You're going to have two bumps then, right? Like you're going to have two red
Even
bumps.
maybe like back 12 then, just because we're not hitting that blue one very thick,
Right.
so it's not going to go as far.
Yeah.
Maybe
The
back
only
line.
The only other choice is we're coming in and bumping the blue ones from the back.
Yeah, we could do that
Why don't
too.
we come this way, slash, not
Yeah.
slash, but bump it back 12.
'Kay.
Then you've got two and you've opened up the middle.
Okay, yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I like that.
All right, so then we've opened it up a little bit
Yeah.
more. And it makes her double. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Do
yeah,
that
yeah,
back
yeah.
eight
Yeah,
foot
yeah,
more.
yeah.
Yeah, so you pop that one back 8 foot, I think
Yeah.
it's golden.
Okay.
Okay?
Back 8, back 12 weight?
What a great conversation with Coach Jop. Corey, there's two options here. They originally talked about slashing the red one just with back 8, back 12 weight and just trying to open up the rock sitting in the back button. They've now elected to throw the pretty much the same weight, back 8, back 12, but hit the blue one on the outturn side. What do you think?
That's right, and you're really just generating a better opportunity for your rock after this one, setting up a freeze situation. So you're going to move this one to behind the tee line, roll a little bit open so that you have two tap possibilities. You might see Team Gushulak attempt the double on the two reds up there, but great input there from Coach
Really
Droptire
hard.
to
Really hard. Go, 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 go. The
weight
whole way. Go the
choice
whole
on
way.
the stone.
Yep. Hard. Hard, 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 hard. Right up, girls.
I think this is
really
a
hard,
really
right up.
good call.
Really hard. Go, 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 go,
Want to have
go.
back 12 though.
Really
You
hard,
want to
right
get
up.
some
Oh, you gotta
separation
push
going
hard.
here.
You gotta go. You gotta go. You gotta go. Push hard.
There's 1, 2.
Good shot.
So they get a little bit of action on it. But it's still 2 scoring blue stones.
Should be able to just hammer this. Right in the crotch.
No subtlety whatsoever.
This
from
one
Dan
is a
Gushulak
hair
there.
higher.
Blast the whole thing.
I think we gotta try it.
Kristen needed about 5 feet more weight there so that
Go
she
Peel.
didn't bump another blue one into the 4-foot. Granted, they're both behind the tee line, which is good news for Team Wark.
And that was the absolute priority there. Just set up that situation behind the tee line, knowing that you're going to have the freeze attempt on your next one.
Grace McInnes has been throwing great all game. She'll get both red here. The shooter will stick around. Might even bite the 12, and it will.
Once again, fantastic throw by Grace McInnes. She's really made some pistol of shots late in this game to help her team out.
Okay, guys, let's make this perfect.
Rallying cry from Sarah Wark. Yep. Make it work. And she has 2 rocks with which to do so. She needs to either steal one or blank, and the blank does not look too likely. Stopped being likely about 3 rocks ago, I want to say. So now she's got to find a way to steal one in the face of this.
Those rocks are very favorable for Sarah Wark right now to freeze to them and set her up.
She needs this weight to be bang on.
Line's really good. Line's perfect. No bump. No bump, girls.
I think they got to go on weight here. It's a little bit light.
16-11 hog to hog. That is light. I mean, they want no bump. They're going to get no bump, but probably not in the way they wanted. Slide to the 8. Looks like another timeout is coming up here. As Team Gushulak will call the timeout here and look over their options.
Somebody tells us to draw a top button. Like top. Not.
Another 3, 4, 5 feet of weight for Sarah there. That would have been absolutely perfect. So big decision here for Diane Gushulak. She can remove that red stone.
Because she'll have that, you come up anything short, she can put that, her first shooter into the button.
Yep.
What's wrong with peeling it out of there?
She sits in there, then we just.
You're leaving her that same freeze again, though.
Well,
right?
Right, but if she freezes to the back when the button's open, she freezes to the top one, you can hammer it. She's got to go a couple inches this way.
What if I lock one on this one?
If you can lock it.
You can lock it. I threw this straw 2 times, 2 ends ago.
Yeah. But you've got to be on the tee line.
Yeah, like it's got to be to this.
So it has to be on the button.
You've got to be on the
It's got to
tee
be
line.
on the pin.
Be on the tee line. Yeah, because you keep center line tee line because you can't allow her to
get a
get
corner
to that
it.
back one.
Okay.
I like that.
We can do that.
You like that?
Sure.
So originally it looks like Coach Neil Houston came out and he had no question but wanted them to hit that redstone just thrown by Sarah Wark. And you could tell the team, and especially Diane, wasn't 100% in agreement with that. She feels that she can make a perfect shot if she goes first and freezes to the top button. That really Sarah Wark may not
I
have
didn't
a
get to that
shot
side of the button
after this.
that time, did
But
I?
what do you think, Corey? Hate to leave that red stone right there.
In my opinion, you have 2 options here. You can go up and remove that redstone, or you can really put Sarah Wark in a situation to make a tough shot by just placing this one, even if it's just on the top 4 foot on the center line. I don't think you need to come much deeper than that. Eliminate Team Wark's possibility of that angle bump to the pin, and but there's definitely some tolerance area for Diane to make this one.
Her first rock of the 10th end. Diane Gushulak.
Let it work. Make sure it's there.
It's going to be a bit light perhaps. 15-22 hog to hog. They're helping it there. 3 brooms now to try and get it in. Will it get past the red? No, it will tap it. And in the end, neither goal met there for Diane Gushulak.
I have to say that rock took sort of an unnatural turn coming into the house past the hog line. It might have grabbed. It looked like it took some of the rotation off, but a little unfortunate there for Diane
Okay, guys, we
Gushulak.
gotta make this one really good.
Opening the door to lock one on
Touch
for Sarah
more.
Wark.
Touch more, yeah.
Her final rock, 10th end. Sarah Wark's last chance to set up the steal.
Let's make it nice.
She's done well to lead her team this far. next challenge to get through.
They called 8, which would be a little bit heavy right now, but once it hits the curl, it should slow down.
1394. This has got a considerable amount of weight on it. It's going to get past. It will bump and it will freeze. A little bit of space there, but it is shot rock. So how tough is this for Diane Gushulak? What's she facing?
Well, she has to come to the nose of that red stone, or pretty much half button. The beauty of it is she has seen the shot. She just threw it on the shot before. She saw Sarah throw it twice. She knows the path. And if they've been talking about it, as Corey mentioned, that maybe her last one grabbed, so I'm not sure if she's taken this maybe a little bit more ice here. But the key is the sweepers have to keep it clean and manage the stone. She's going to throw it close, and she can actually, the tolerance here, Corey, is to be slightly on the heavy side.
Absolutely. You can bump it all day. It's a line shot. Just make sure you get a bigger piece of that button. I think she's going to be really close on this one. I'd be pretty confident.
Final rock of the 10th end. Diane Gushulak with the hammer. A berth in the semifinals on the line. One red stone standing between her and a date against Team Hoodie.
As long as line's good, they can go on it all the way.
14:52 hog time.
Oh, it's got to curl a little bit.
Will it? Will it?
And it's good.
And
nice
there
shot.
it is. Not by much at all. They're looking at it, and it will indeed be Diane Gushulak, line 1, 8-7 after 10 ends. Not a bad game at all. Quite the show put on by Team Wark and Team Gushulak. Here we see the highlights leading up to it. That first shot by Diane Gushulak.
Like I said, her first one took a little bit of an unnatural turn coming into the house, so Sarah Wark had the opportunity for the freeze, a little bit heavy and rolling behind the tee line, which opens the door for Diane to throw the exact same shot, and she made no mistake.
Gets the all-important point.
Curling, the game with the ice, and the rocks, and the sweeping, and the yelling. Each game starts with a handshake. Then, 2 teams of 4 people take turns throwing 44-pound stones down a sheet of ice. Each team throws 8 rocks, and the team closest to the center after all the rocks are thrown will score the points. This process is repeated for 6 to 10 rounds until one team is victorious. It's just that simple. Or is it?
I'm Melissa Saligo, Olympian and Crow BC provincial coach. Curling to me is different from other sports. There is fierce competition on the ice, but off the ice, you are part of a worldwide family that you will be a member of forever. Curl BC wants our curling family to grow and thrive. That's why we're asking your help in supporting the Curling for Life Endowment Fund, which was set up to support curling centers across the province. Visit curlbc.ca/fund to learn more.
Browse the used.ca website to reveal hundreds of colorful items. Hit the button to buy, sell, and trade used goods with members of the local community. Styles for any curler. Search online at used.ca.
Whoa.
Hi, I'm Sheldon Kennedy, and I love Canada for its people.
Hi Canada, I'm Michelle Salt, Paralympic snowboarder, and I love Canada because there's so much diversity here, a lot to see, a lot to do.
I'm Jay Ingram, and what I love about Canada is that we are, by and large, a tolerant society. We have fantastic geography.
Citizens of other countries really appreciate when they see Canadians, and they love it. And I think that's a testament to how friendly Canadians are.
Hey, Canada, happy 150th.
Happy birthday, Canada, from Akeem Haynes. I brought home a medal for you guys from Rio, but for now, I'm going to hang on to it.
Happy birthday, Canada.
Hey, Canada, happy 150th.
Happy birthday, Canada, eh?
Happy 150th birthday, Canada.
To Canadians everywhere, happy birthday.
Hey, Canada, happy 150th birthday.
I'm here with winning skip Diane Gushulak from Royal City in Vancouver. Diane, you got to be feeling pretty good right now.
I'm feeling pretty darn good about that, but I'm still kind of shaken on the last rock.
That's kind of like for us watching it, that is so exciting. It's a great game when it comes down to the last rock. You said not so much for you.
I'm sure it's fun to watch that, but not so much fun to throw the last one. But very rewarding when it happens.
Well, it was a great game to watch, and I have to say, Grace McInnes really found her groove. She really came into her own in this game.
Grace is usually in her groove. She definitely played well that game, but it's not surprising. She always plays well.
You're just proud of your girls, I think.
Yeah, very proud. They work really hard, and we're very excited to win that game.
Now, I spoke with Sarah Wark at, halfway through, and she talked about how well matched you are. Do you think that kind of pushes each of you to do it a little bit better?
We've played Sarah a number of times this year. Yeah, we're very well matched. They've actually had our number a couple times this season, so we're pretty happy to have pulled this one out when it really, really matters.
Well, it does really matter, and that brings us on to the next game. What's your strategy moving ahead?
I have to go up and think about it for a sec. I have to get over this game first. So, yeah, I do have to go think about it.
Okay, well, congratulations. We're going to let you go and think about it. Great game.
Awesome, thank you.
Rotera, back to you.
Thank you, Nancy, up in the broadcast booth. Rotero, Melissa, Corey. Well, that was quite the game to end the day on. 8-7 win for Team Gushulak. My goodness, where do we start with that one? There was definitely no shortage of chances for both teams, right down to the wire. Let's talk about how we got here. What was the key factor that set this thing up?
Well, there were a lot of keys actually. Grace McInnes, as they mentioned, played unbelievable, and there were some momentum swings back and forth, especially in the first 5 ends. And the last 5, we saw a little bit more aggressive play by Team Wark because they had that one mistake that gave up that big end. And unfortunately for Sarah Wark, she just couldn't finish it off. And it's hard to steal in the 10th.
It is, but Sarah Wark did not have problems stealing earlier in the game. Corey, it looked like with the first 5 ends, Team Wark was on fire, and then it became even more tense and ultimately went the way of Team Gushulak.
That's right. Team Wark did come out guns blazing, and Sarah said it in the 5th end break. They weren't comfortable because they knew Gushulak could come back like they had previously this season, and sure enough, they did. But I agree with Melissa. Grace McInnes' performance in that last half really stood out and ended up putting the points on the scoreboard that mattered the most.
Now, we heard, talking with Nancy, that Diane clearly has a lot of respect for the Wark rink. They've talked about how they've been going at it. They've had their number. This has to be a huge confidence boost going into tomorrow's semifinal.
Oh my goodness, absolutely. It's hard when you don't get that opportunity enough to play with another team, and when you do, you got to be sure and you got to be. But as Diane said, this was the big one. This is the one they really wanted to win, and they did it.
Well, tomorrow's broadcast, 11 a.m., it will be Team Hudima taking on Team Gushulak. Corey, we know Team Gushulak is going to be going into the strategy room right now to figure this out. What are you anticipating for these two rinks come tomorrow?
You know what? I'm expecting a really strong rebound performance from Team Hudima. They had a bit of a hiccup this afternoon, but they've had a really strong, dominant performance all week, and I would expect nothing less for them to come out and take this one tomorrow.
Should be a good one. Hope you'll join us 11 a.m. on Shaw TV here at the Glen Harper Curling Center in Duncan. For everyone here, for Melissa, for Corey, for myself, for the entire Shaw TV team, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow for the semifinals, Team Gushulak and Team Hudima.